What is going on, everybody? It is your actually not that stupid host, Brett. Wow. This is another episode of Pop Culture Crisis, episode 290. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. We are already addressing the shade in the chat. People calling Brett actually very smart.
Well, they're not wrong about the, with compliments like that, who needs insults? But they might not be that far off because I wrote episode 190 today.
Oh, no. So, it's been a long time since episode 190, Brett, but I was here for that.
Yes.
Anyways, we've got a couple of Riz Lords in the studio today. Firstly, hello, Kellen.
I still don't understand what this Riz nonsense is.
Look, I don't either. You guys are the ones saying it. I'm just trying to be hip.
Today's a special episode of Pop Culture because Serge and I were given permission to say whatever we want. So
I did nothing of the sort here. Guys.
It's okay.
And that is also Serge over there.
You don't have to say anything because we have unspoken Riz. It doesn't matter. You just have it just emits.
What is unspoken Riz?
Unspoken Riz, even though you're about to be on a podcast for 2+ hours.
Yes.
Riz just expanding from my body.
Dude, gross! I can smell it.
I don't think that's Riz, bro. That's a different meaning, different word.
Totally separate thing altogether. Chat, just let me know. Are we live here in the chat? Can anyone in the chat tell me if things are going good there?
Seems like the chat's still moving and we're good.
Can you guys let me know?
Do you think there's a problem?
I'm getting a no data symbol here, so can somebody in the chat let me know if you got us here?
Chat restored.
Looks good. They're still in the chat.
Yep. Just all right.
Still
we're good.
Insulting
all right.
you.
See, okay.
In a backhanded way in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. We're okay.
So he has genius level IQ, etc.
Here's the thing. I'm actually wearing my bad luck hat today, so maybe it would have been perfectly normal for for something to go wrong.
Why are you wearing the bad luck hat?
It's a good hat. I like the way it looks.
Because you have to wear it until it's good luck. You have to literally force good luck upon.
Did you put salt in it?
True.
No.
Someone said Serge is a little quiet.
What's
That's
up,
probably
Hydra?
a good thing.
Yeah, probably a good thing.
Okay. So I've got my bad luck hat on. We're going to turn it into a good luck hat by the end of the episode today, guys. So today we are going to talk about this article in which Neil Druckmann says that they're going to stick to the source material with The Last of Us, which is, I suppose, very, very, very good, considering what the alternative is in the world of video game adaptations. We are also going to talk about Dave Chappelle and what he categorizes as incitement to violence from the protesters that were out in force in Minneapolis over the summer, First Ave and then over at the Varsity. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Kanye West possibly not being able to get into Australia because of very, very mean comments that he made when he was on Alex Jones. And we are also going to talk about the director of Till, who is throwing a hissy fit because she was not nominated for Best Director. Nor was Till nominated for Best Picture. Therefore, what else could it be in Hollywood today but racism? Am I right?
Of course. Because
True.
Hollywood is very racist.
Yes, of course. So before we get started, guys, could you please like this video really quickly, leave a comment on it, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and also check out our newest Velma review. That was actually going to be what the poll was for today, but I decided to make this one instead. And if you guys haven't seen it here, did you guys see the poll?
I voted that The Last of Us should be more like Velma.
That's what I voted.
I love Velma. It's my favorite TV show. And you can see my positive, glowing review of it that we posted at 1 p.m. today. Go watch our review.
I want them to
the
replace, I can't remember the character's name, but the girl in The Last of Us. I just want them to replace her entirely with Velma. I just want Velma to show up and be like, I'm going with...
They should also give that version of Ellie a cameo in Velma.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
They would fit right in.
Yeah, true. Good idea.
So we're gonna get into that. So right now, before we get started, it's starting with it is what should The Last of Us do? The options were stick to the source material, get creative, or be more like Velma. Right now, stick to the source material is winning with 65%. I know it's bumming you guys out really bad.
We hate the source material, don't we?
Well, what I've realized is that like you can't win. Like you either make nobody happy, or you end up angering some people. Some people want our Velma reviews to be more angry. Some people think they're just right. Some people want our stuff involving The Last of Us to be like, no, it should be more like the games. No, they should take more creative liberties. You literally can't make anyone happy. So if you guys are ready, then Mary, we can just get right into the cringe of the day.
We are ready for the cringe of the day.
Go for it.
It is not a video today, but it is an update on something that we talked about the other day. Mark Hamill committing the heinous crime of liking a J.K. Rowling tweet, and he has officially bent the knee. He said, "What I liked about this exchange was someone speaking their truth to power. Twitter is unfortunately no place for nuance. It's imperative I make this abundantly clear. I support human rights for everyone, regardless of their gender identity. Period."
That's a big period.
I know that
too.
he swayed his head around and waved his finger in the air.
He did this.
Period,
yes.
Queen. So he officially
he bent the knee before the last time this happened. Yeah.
Couldn't stand behind his accidental like on a J.K. Rowling tweet, which I thought maybe he just dropped some Chick-fil-A sauce on his phone screen and like tried to lick it off.
See, but then he'd have to admit that he.
And then they're like, "You went to Chick-fil-A. Heinous monster!" Yes. You homophobe. So yeah.
Also,
it's a disappointment for Mark
I want
Hamill.
them to do a Star Wars remake where Mark Hamill comes back as Luke Skywalker, and you know how he uses the Force to like trick your mind. He's like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. All right, I want him to go around and just make everyone woke. Right?
They could do that.
Yeah.
Have Kathleen Kennedy be
the
in
patriarchy.
Can they unwoke people?
Yeah, but Luke's not going to do that.
Right.
Come on now.
Wokeness ruined Luke Skywalker.
I was going to say recast when, because getting tired of this Mark Hamill guy.
Well, I mean, like, I don't think they need to do any of it. I think they should just leave it alone. It's not even worth making movies out of anymore. They're only making Star Wars TV shows.
You know, Brianna Wu,
yes.
of all people, replied to this tweet saying,
"Not good enough.
What truth do you think Rowling is speaking?" And
to what power?
Yeah, to what power? And I thought the same thing. I was like, can J.K. Rowling speak truth to power if she is the definition of power?
She is.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Because she's like, she may have a lot of money, but she like, she in a lot of ways still speaks up against an enormous machine, which is like the trans movement inside of the LGBTQ movement. So, I mean, in a way, like it's not a force for good.
Well, isn't she just like the unofficial leader of the turf?
Well, I don't know if she decided that or if she made that decision, but yeah, she is kind of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people give J.K. Rowling more attention than they need to.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for both positive and negative.
Yeah.
It's just like let someone
She's
have
just
their
an
opinions
author.
and move on with your life.
Very successful author,
Yeah.
but she is just an author.
Yeah.
So I think that Mark Hamill is going to continue to get dragged through the mud for this, and I love to see it.
I do also want to point out one more thing, guys. After I did the whole topic yesterday, and I was going to take it down and ended up leaving it up, we covered the fact that AEW Wrestling was not going to be allowed to put Mark Briscoe on because of stuff that Jay Briscoe said 10 years ago. It was a tribute. Jay Briscoe passed away. They did end up reversing course on that, and they did allow Mark Briscoe to compete against Jay Lethal on AEW television last night and do the tribute to Jay Briscoe, which was a very big deal. Like, I think that's good because the idea was that Jay Briscoe made some comments that were anti-LGBTQ in like 2013, and so therefore, like you're not allowed to be remembered. He passed tragically. He was in a car accident. He was hit head on by another truck, bringing his daughters to like a school recital.
Oh my god!
So it's like the most tragic of stories. But it was good to see that they did kind of reverse course on that and allow that to happen. So that is at least some good news for today, that they allowed that tribute to happen. Something good to come out of all the bad. So
he was with his kids when he passed away.
Yeah, well, his kids were in the back seat. They survived. They survived, but he passed away. So
sucks.
yeah, it's very sad.
That's tough.
All right, guys, we're going to move on. We're going to get started right off the bat. So The Last of Us, which we have been reviewing, which is kind of proving to me more than anything, is that people want the hyperbolic reactions. In a world of Velma and The Last of Us, it seems like Velma's getting all the play right now. But this is an article from Shack News that says, The Last of Us HBO Max TV series will not venture outside of the events of the games. Thoughts?
This is from Neil Druckmann, by the way, who wrote and directed the original games. And he said, "We only want to adapt to games, so we don't want to go outside of them." Yes. That's all he said about it. However, this was right after he said they're open to making a third Last of Us game, despite the fact that The Last of Us 2 got really horrible reviews.
Audience reviews.
Well, I mean, I think that the audience reviews are what matter more than anything compared to the critic reviews for shows or games.
Yeah, I don't even know if they believe that.
The second Last of Us game got so much hate because obviously they killed off Joel, who is the main selling point of... I mean, everybody knows that at this point. They killed off Joel, who is the main selling point of the franchise. He's the main character that people are drawn to, and his dynamic with Ellie is what people were drawn to. The fans wanted him to be in the second game, yet he was killed off in the first, like in the very beginning of it. Yeah. And then they just made the whole thing woke girl bossing.
Nice. Well, I mean, there's not enough of that in Hollywood. That's the problem. We need more woke girl bossing.
Yeah, but
like, so he's. I'm just saying. I think he might be a little bit hypocritical here to say we're going to stay loyal to the games when it comes to the show, which we're introducing to people who have never played the games. But then when it comes to writing the actual games, he betrayed the fan base already. Yeah. And now he's thinking of making a third one that doesn't involve Joel or Ellie. It's going to be a multiplayer experience where it's an entirely new cast and none of the original characters are going to be in it, and you are like playing with your friends in the Last of Us universe, but none of the original characters are there.
I mean, video games, like when you're talking about major studios and publishers of video games, it's Hollywood adjacent. It's not quite Hollywood because video games can come back from a terrible sequel. Like it happens all the time. So I
because you expect more and more installments. Like you don't expect it to end at just 2 or 3.
Right. And not only that is like the base game, like the story is obviously a huge component of The Last of Us. They wrote it a very compelling story, but the way the game plays, that is going to be more or less the same from the first game to the second game. So you're going to have that sense of normalcy, and that like just being familiar with that is going to carry a lot of it. So the story people will disagree with, and hopefully they take notes of their critics as well as their fans and because a lot of these games that have been single player historically and then try to delve into the multiplayer realm, that's where the big failure happens. It has nothing to do with the story.
There was a great video that I saw the other day where it's a guy, he's like 80. It's like he's like I'm 90 years old. I'm on my deathbed. And it's like very clearly a kid. He's got a walker. He's got a fake beard, and he just goes over to a bed and he keels over and dies. And then like it immediately cuts to like in the new Grand Theft Auto finally comes out. Like
oh my goodness. Dude,
or what was it, Half-Life 3?
Yeah, like it finally comes out as soon as the guy keels over and dies at the age of 90.
It is crazy that this is going to be Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah,
I think so.
How old is Rockstar, the franchise?
The franchise, Rockstar is like a company.
You mean the studio?
Yeah, the game.
At least 20 years.
Yeah, they've been making. Yeah. Have they been making it since the beginning?
What are their other flagship games? Do you guys know?
They had like that. They had like Bully and stuff back in the day. They had Red Dead. That's true.
So this is.
Redemption.
I'm wondering.
I don't know. I'm not much of a gamer.
I know that there's been a lot more, I guess, cultural cachet around what Naughty Dog does as a studio.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people are mad that they've put Uncharted to rest now. Like he officially announced, we are finally done with Uncharted. Uncharted 4 was like one of their best-selling games, and they're moving on. They're not going to adapt it any further or make a new one, and they're focusing on The Last of Us. And I think at some point in the future, more people are going to recognize The Last of Us by the TV show than by the game.
Yeah, eventually.
That's the goal, right?
That might be their goal for all of these franchises in the end, is to move them off and then look at all of them as like funnels to get 1 or 2 decent games made and then have them moved into. Yeah. And they could theoretically do this with very little work. If you find something that works and then you don't go overboard and try to make it something that it's not in the adaptation process, you could theoretically have a pipeline.
There are opportunities for failure because they, like a lot of people in the gaming industry and in Hollywood at the same time, are just obsessed with not only deviating from source material, but fully bastardizing it specifically to go against the will of the fans.
I was just going to say, we're in an interesting experiment right now where we have two major TV shows, probably two of the biggest TV shows in at least America right now. Halo, which is due for a second season.
Look, I'm telling you right now.
Hold on.
We're going to argue about this all day.
And then The Last of Us. The Last of Us is sticking straight to source material, right?
So they say. We don't know yet.
So they say. Halo did no such thing.
No.
Completely abandoned canon. But we're seeing it's a really good, I think it's a fun time to be a viewer right now and be a fan of the shows because we're going to see which one is more successful.
Look, either way, The Last of Us is more successful. That season 2 announcement for Halo came before season 1 even aired.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Halo. And let's face it,
do.
more.
don't.
Does anybody have the subscriber counts for HBO Max versus Paramount? I guarantee you there are twice as many subscribers on HBO Max as there are on Paramount Plus.
Sure, but people signed up for Paramount Plus just to watch Halo, and then they canceled their membership.
Wow.
Does not mean they're coming back for season 2.
I think they will. I
don't think they will.
They'll give it a second chance. Yeah, they'll give Halo one more chance to right their wrongs.
There's the initial shock factor that they did it so badly and people will hate watch for it, but it doesn't keep a long-term audience. I think there's already conversations, Neil Druckmann said, about a season 2 for The Last of Us. I think it will probably get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, it's just because there's a drought of like good content right now and people are flocking
They're
to it.
going to have to.
But they have a chance to regain the trust of their audience, of the fans who hated The Last of Us 2.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, and it's people hate on The Walking Dead, but what happened, The Walking Dead ran into the issue where after the first season or two, right, like they had to go and create their own story. They had to abandon the comic
Well, they ran
books
out of comics after like
pretty
season
quickly.
4. Season
Well, aren't
5.
they still running?
No, the comics ended a couple years ago.
Okay.
But so The Last of Us, they're gonna face that too. They're gonna face that obstacle where they've told the story that's in the video games. So now what do? Do you call it quits until a new game comes out, or do you start telling your own story?
Chat, what say you? Everyone here is about the Halo adaptation. Were there people that like? Maybe I can admit that I could be completely wrong and missing the pulse of what people think, but I didn't get the vibe from anyone. At the very least, if people didn't hate it, I didn't see anyone very excited about it.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I used to love Halo, but I'm also not the biggest gamer, so I'm not going to be too angry. I don't expect them to stick to any like source material.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When it's crucial though, when it's like such an integral part of the source material they're using, you should.
I mean, if you're adapting from
agree.
a video game, you're doing it because you want a built-in audience that will give it the momentum to reach people who haven't been introduced to the source material at all and wouldn't know if you're deviating from it or not.
Exactly.
So, I mean, and it's also impossible to stay perfectly loyal to the plot of the game when it's just a different medium. And he's already admitted that they have changed it slightly to make certain implicit things more explicit, such as the romance that was implied between Joel and Tess. They've also given Bella Ramsey some creative control over, how to interpret the character of Ellie, which I'm not a fan of what she's done with it so far, to be honest.
Okay,
there's no way to do this perfectly. That's all I'm saying.
She's too naive for the world she's living in.
I'm
upbeat, I feel like.
I'll take, here's one. JDB Fortney says, I know nothing about Halo, never played the game. I liked it. So there's somebody who did enjoy it.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong.
And to be fair, look, they can say all they want that they want to please gamers. Most of the time, that's not true. They're always chasing the mythical audience that somehow exists, doesn't care about the source material, but cares about it just enough. Because, I guess the idea is that I've never played Halo, but I know what Halo is because my kids play it. Therefore, I'll turn it on.
You're describing modern Marvel fans.
Yes.
So that audience does exist.
Never read
That's true.
Never read the comics. But they were a lot more. They were a lot less risky about Marvel in the beginning.
That's true.
They took far less risks when Marvel started and waited to ruin everything until they started Phase 4. I mean, even in Phase 3, there was questionable stuff. You can say what you want about Captain Marvel. I also saw this great article the other day. It was a great. It's literally Take That, You Incels, the article where it was it was like an article from one of these feminist websites. It said like Captain Marvel voted most inspiring Avenger, and just like that they had to like design a study that would allow this to be true. And I guess the idea was that Air Force recruitment has gone up since the movie came out in 2019. Therefore, Captain Marvel is the most inspiring Avenger.
Interesting. That's quite
highly
the take.
doubt.
I was like, well, Top Gun Maverick came out this year. Maybe that's
Maverick
what caused all of it.
Right.
That's what the original Top Gun did.
Yeah.
At least for
the goal?
military enlistment.
Yeah, wasn't that the
I think
goal
it was
in the
Air
80s?
Force.
No?
I mean, I think most movies that depict war are some type of propaganda. At least they include some type of propaganda.
Well, in comics,
have you ever
unavoidable.
considered that explosions and guns are just awesome?
I mean, that's also. I don't mind it at all. I think like propaganda is almost unavoidable at this point.
And comics were, I mean, a lot of comics in the early days were war propaganda. They absolutely were. I mean, when you really look at Captain America, like a lot of it,
Guys,
a
the
lot
media
of it
you consume is trying to shape your opinions about things. This is a brand new take that you just heard for the first time on Pop Culture Crisis.
You know, I'm not too worried about The Last of Us though. I'm very happy because video game adaptations up until like 3 to 5 years ago have always failed.
That's
like,
not true. The first Tomb Raider
flopped.
is not just a great movie. It's a masterpiece. And everyone in the chat, if you have not seen the original Tomb Raider, it is your job tonight to go online. And I don't know which streaming service it's on. I should know this because I just watched it recently. You should. Yes, this is my Brett recommends for the day. Go watch the very first Tomb Raider movie, and then just to spite them, what you need to do is then turn on the second Tomb Raider movie, and then immediately turn it off.
Oh,
ooh, nice.
Do that.
Yeah,
because and completely skip over the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider movie.
I want to see a company design a game, like a true multimedia project, where like the first movie comes out, but the second part of the story is like told through a video game.
So they do the movie first and then the video game,
and kind of like go back and forth to bridge gaps.
That'd be a little more difficult.
That's interesting.
I'm not saying it'd be easy.
I don't know how they would do that.
You could like release seasons of the game as they do games nowadays, like, where they release like certain segments
I
of the
hate
game.
that that's a trend, right? It's like it's the new season in video games,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, you guys aren't telling a new story. You're just putting out crappy cosmetics for 15-year-olds to spend their
parents' money on.
To put their parents'
never their own
gamble on, really.
Never it's like now they need to find a way to introduce loot boxes into the actual Last of Us TV show.
Oh my god!
Like if we get loot box, like they'll do it too. They're like, you can like, okay, how about this? One day, what's gonna happen is they're gonna start shooting multiple endings, and you get to like gamble and pick your ending.
Oh yeah,
like you can pay to get the ending you want.
Like that Black Mirror episode, except you have to pay to win.
Like yeah, but like in this, they're like in this one, so they start maybe instead of going and having Joel die at the start of The Last of Us season 2, they find a way to ruin it even worse and kill him off at the end of season 1. But wait, what they do is they offer you the option or you can pay $9.99 and he lives, and they shoot both.
I like
This is a horrible dystopian.
It's a great idea.
Why are you giving them ideas like this?
Maybe it's a great idea. Maybe we're just boomers.
If you pick,
can we just be boomers? And we're like, the story has to go this way. It has to be a linear storyline. But what if they've had this book, so you just read a different part of the story. It's like, if you want this story to end this way, choose this page. You go to that page and read it. I didn't care. I would just read whatever story and then read the other one.
Video games are inherently like choose your own adventure.
Well, here's the thing. If it had been left up to the fans of The Last of Us, they obviously would not have chosen for Joel to have died at the beginning of 2.
There's a few.
I don't know. Some people might.
Unless
I don't know.
Like
so deaths can be done very well. Gears of War had a character Dom who was
Dom's
through the
death
first
was so sad.
he was in the first game, second game. I can't remember if he died in the second or third game, but he did die, and it was like this tragic scene. They gave him they gave this giant cinematic cutscene.
True.
So they gave him what he was what he earned, but
the hero's death.
But yeah, the choose your own adventure. I want to see them only there's one ending. It's only 5% of people get, right? And that's like a code to unlock the next mission in the video game.
Here's one. There was before the Mortal Kombat movie came out.
Which one?
The very first one in 1995. They released the worst and best animated like prequel movie ever that came out on VHS. It's the greatest. It's online. It's called Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins. It's so bad it's good, and everyone should go online and watch that tonight. See, you got 2 Brett recommends in one segment.
Wow.
Tomb Raider
What a
1
show, what a show.
and Mortal Kombat. Oh,
Thank you.
Oh.
Wow. Dude, these get better every time.
Actually,
These get better every time.
horrifying.
What?
can you name the movie?
I couldn't really
No.
understand what I was hearing.
Other than the terrifying sound of a woman screaming.
That was like, you know when people get those big canvases and they just get cups of paint, just throw it at the canvas?
Yeah,
that was the
Brett.
audio equivalent of that.
That's Brett's spiritual experience.
My favorite-
creating these sounds.
Dude, it really is the best part of my job now.
You'd be great at doing those things you hear on like 101.5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I mean, Carter
crazy
definitely needs to look
true
into that.
It's so
opportunity.
fun. If anyone's in audio,
Yeah.
just go ahead and try and do that in your DAW. It's like one of the greatest freeing experiences of your life. It'll teach you so
All right.
much.
Let's go to super chats then.
Let's do it.
Perturbed Alpaca said, "We good."
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
True.
I
we
am what
good.
I am. Said,
good.
"Hey, pop culture. Today is my son's 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Mike Unt."
Happy birthday.
Mike Unt.
5th birthday.
They're gross.
Got him.
and, it's only 5? Wait, it's only 5. The
That's
Unt
a
is
little
only
scary.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, they got.
Why is wait, so I'm confused. It's a son, but it's okay. We can move on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyways.
Hey, it's 2023.
Rolando Ramirez said, "Goodness, the shoulder, Mary." All right.
He's right.
Get a grip, okay? Chill. Big
Goodness.
Dave said, Big Dave just sent us 99 cents without a message. As usual, thank you, Big Dave.
Yeah.
Potatoes
Dave?
for Seamus said, coming soon to PCC. It's WWE fight Surge v. Kellen. May the
Okay.
best Surge win.
Yep.
Love you too, Kellen. Wait, that means only
Why
Surge
not the
can
best
win.
Kellen win?
Loser has to fly frontier. Hi, Brett. You are my hero. Hi, Mary.
I also heard that people were saying that Spirit Airlines was the MVP of the holidays. Like they were the one with the least problems of the
Really?
holidays.
That's correct.
Somebody
way.
also has pointed out that the date. Look, dude, I said earlier. I said today feels disorganized, and this hat is
Is the date wrong?
The date is wrong. The name is wrong on the 4-person shot. It is. It has been a day in this.
Which name was wrong?
Yours says Hannah Claire because she was in your seat yesterday.
Oh.
So guys, the hat continues to live up to its name. This is a cursed hat.
Where's the
Wow.
date?
I don't know. It's on the
Well,
the waiting room.
You shouldn't
the
have
thumbnail.
worn that hat.
I should not have worn this hat, so I apologize,
When are you
guys.
gonna get your bandanas?
I'm not. Carter wears bandanas. I don't wear bandanas.
You could do it too.
I can't do bandanas.
Carter doesn't own bandanas, man. If he said that, I'll
My
talk
hair
to
is
him
not
for
long
that.
enough for bandanas.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Caper 2X said, "Welcome back, Mary. We missed you while you did your annual weapons quals HR training at OPSEC.
Yeah.
Brett had to pull through with the help of the Salvation Army, assorted feds, and a British spy. Make mine marvel."
We basically they gave
the-
us all Fed designations. It was like they gave me like NCIS. I was like I'd rather be CIA. They gave Hannah Claire the MI6, and I believe
Okay.
they gave Chris FBI, and then they gave Carter Salvation Army.
Nice. Nice. Great. I love
Isn't that great?
That's hilarious.
BMF Nate Dog said, "Bump The Last of Us. How about that Elden Ring?"
Well, when they make an Elden Ring series, we'll talk.
How would they do that? That'd be massive.
Well, I mean, they did it with Mortal Kombat.
Isn't there
Oh,
a Fallout
true.
adaptation coming?
Yes. I don't know how far away.
That'd
No.
be cool.
BMF Nate Dog said, "Joel dies. Damn it! I was waiting for PC movies." Look, if you don't know that by now, that's your fault.
I didn't know that. I didn't know who Joel is.
Menthi said, "Rockstar made the original Lemmings when they were DMA design."
It's funny how like long that Rockstar logo
What?
has like it's so part of the public consciousness. Like even people who don't play games know that Rockstar logo. And I still remember. It's really funny too because like I have vague memories because I worked retail for years, and I would a lot of time in my lifetime being at work during like Grand Theft Auto releases.
True.
like for releases for Grand Theft Auto. So part of my childhood.
Nate Parrott said Cuckman, meaning Druckman, is the
Nice.
type of guy to get mad at fans who want The Witcher to stay faithful to the source material, but when it's something he created now, he wants to stay true to the game.
I mean, I wonder if the first part's just him, virtue signaling, but also he really does look like an even dorkier version of Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
Like if Jack Dorsey was less successful and didn't look like he was constantly on an ayahuasca trip, he would be Jack Dorsey.
Surprising that a guy like that could create a character like Joel.
Isn't that weird how like some of these actors, or not actors, but like a Stephen King or a lot of writers, I wouldn't even put King in that category, who wrote really complex and interesting characters when they were younger. Maybe it's through social conditioning, maybe they just change as they get older, and they get so much worse as they get older, and seem to maybe that creative ability is still there, but you wonder if they were the same person when they were younger that allowed them to create that complex character.
I Am What I Am said confirmed Serge stole Tim's beanie.
Is that where you got that?
Incorrect. No, this is actually the
I can
beanie of
tell
my-
the difference.
Yeah, it's the beanie of my alma mater. I went to the University of Utah, and it has a little U logo here somewhere.
Okay, were there a lot of Mormons?
Yeah, like 50% of the school. It was so weird, but
All of the best cheerleaders are in
yeah,
Utah.
but you could tell because they all
What?
got their diamond rings on.
Yeah.
You just know, yeah. So
Okay.
One of my weaknesses is for like stunt cheerleading on Instagram.
stunt cheerleader.
They are freaking crazy,
Yeah?
dude. The stuff like when you really think about it, it's one of these things. Like I think about doing dangerous stuff on skates, right? Like if I screw up, I screw up. But if it's like a dude picking up like a tiny little woman and throwing her in the air and doing these crazy stuff, I don't know if I would ever have like we joke a lot about trust falls here. Like that's beyond trust falls
Yeah,
to have to
true.
like put your life in the hands of a couple of other people while you do all this really dangerous stuff. I love that stuff.
Do you watch the cheerleading world championship?
I do not.
Or national
I
championship?
just watch the reels on Instagram.
Oh.
I just watch the reels. And it's only because I like the cheerleading. It has nothing to do with the hot women. I promise.
Okay, bro.
People are mentioning Frogger in the chat.
Frogger was the best game
Guys, wokeness
ever.
ruined Frogger.
I agree. I agree.
It's coming for Pong next.
Yep,
Yeah.
true that.
Or if we ever get that Pac-Man movie, they're skipping and going right to Miss Pac-Man. There will be no Pac-Man movie first.
What if it's like just a remake of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it's Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man?
That's a good idea.
Wow, that'd
Let's
be cool.
go.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Wyatt Goldenberg said, 60 years ago when I was a kid, movies were based on history, classical literature, family, and love. Today, most movies are based on comic books
Yeah.
and video games. Total
Facts.
cultural decline.
Here's the thing, though. The
That's
comics,
true.
the comics that many of those are adapted from are taken with concepts and ideas from classic literature and are written by actually talented people. The number one critique I have for a lot of the new age writers, I've been kind of going on like a weird like rant about this lately. It's like, I don't think that Hollywood is actually like, I think the same amount of really good writers still exist. I think that back in the day, there was 4 networks and 4 cable networks. You had maybe 30 good writers and 100 TV shows. The problem is now you still have those same 30 to 40 good writers, but you have 500 TV shows. So it's saturated by all this garbage.
Yeah.
And the good writers do take from classic literature and history. The bad writers take from other TV shows and movies and didn't actually learn how to write properly.
I'll agree. I mean, you're seeing more content.
Yeah,
But you're not seeing really, really
not seeing
great,
great stuff.
amazing.
The same
Here's
thing's
a-
happening in music in a lot of ways. Like you see a lot of music. Music has been democratized. Everyone can make music, but should everyone make music?
Yeah. Well, I think they should. They should. But,
you should,
but
you
here-
should be allowed to. Totally, of course.
here's the thing. Like, I don't know if less good content is being made. I think just as much good content is being made. It's just being spread out over so many streaming services and a constantly connected media that it feels like there's less of it, right? So I'll give you an example of one of like mediocre. So somebody in, I think it was Caper2X in the chat, suggested I watch Will Trent. And I got through episode 1 and it it didn't do it for me. And a lot of people, they like it. Like we're saying, they liked it. They think it's good. They're like, he's like Gregory House, but less antagonistic and stuff like this. And I love the actor. Ramon Rodriguez is a versatile actor. I love the actresses. The other actress in it is very, very memorable. Sonia San from The Wire. There it is, my daily mention of The Wire. But here's the thing. Like in an age now where there's as much to choose from as there is, you don't get an episode to hook. You don't get more than one episode to hook someone. You better get them in that first episode, or they're going to move on to something else. So you need your absolute best writers and directors on those first episodes. And it didn't do it for me. And I think that's like, not everything is Velma. A lot of it is just, like. Sure, fine.
It's just gruel.
Yeah,
like basically. You have to eat it for survival.
Exactly.
I watched.
Let's do one more
part of episode 1. No, I'm just saying I watched part of episode 1. It is so much worse than you guys are making it out to be. I thought it'd be like I could maybe watch it and like watch the next one if I felt like it. I couldn't really even get through the first one.
By episode
just, like, terrible.
5, I had basically like a weird form of like Stockholm syndrome where I'm like hoping for it to get better. And
I'm really sorry.
But here's the thing: like I would have actually been fine with it getting even worse. But it's just the same level of awful.
It's terrible.
I don't know. Maybe if it gets really dark and serious all of a sudden,
That's what I thought. Okay, I thought the only logical conclusion of this is that Velma. It turns out Velma was the murderer the whole time.
And
then she just like kills everyone at her school.
It's white Velma underneath. It's white Velma underneath the mask.
Because Velma literally has like the vibes of an incel like mass shooter or something.
It's terrible.
Like, she is that type of personality. Anyway. We're going to read one more and then move on. Alejandro Reyes said, after what they did in Last of Us 2, I stopped caring about the franchise. That is you and a lot of people, my friend.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So Dave Chappelle addresses anti-trans backlash and says that protesters were trying to incite violence. This has to do with when he did his show in Minneapolis, right? He did his show in Minneapolis, and people were throwing eggs, which today would be a huge flex.
I love
that would be a huge flex
we
to
have
throw
been
eggs.
on the air long enough to remember when we originally talked about this news, when he was displaced from this venue in Minneapolis, and it hit close to home for you, obviously, being a Minnesotan, and then he found his home in a different venue because he's Dave Chappelle, and any venue should be grateful to have him headline there.
Yeah.
Proof that it works too, because the other venue took it, and that venue did not close. It is still open. It is open for business.
Nothing catastrophic happened.
A bunch of broke losers who claim to be activists are now going to complain because they were never going to go there in the first place.
They all pretend to be hard on the internet and make threats on Twitter or whatever. But when it comes down to it, they show up and they throw eggs, and then one woman threw a barricade.
Courier 626 says, dude, it's
Minneapolis. That's kind of impressive.
Courier 626 says, dude, it's MSP. It's always violent. MSP is Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yeah. Like, look, I grew up in St. Paul. I grew up in a suburb called Woodbury. I lived in the outskirts of the city. But, you know, the great thing about Minneapolis, St. Paul is, like, you've got a lot of small suburbs and not necessarily well-off suburbs, but small housing areas that surround the bigger part of the city. And there's certain places you don't go. You don't go to North Minneapolis after 9 p.m. You try to avoid certain areas, but there's a lot of violence down there, and that's part of, like, and this was remember, this is still like post-COVID, but it was worse during the summer, Summer of Love 2020. Great times.
Well, clearly it continued after that into last year, and I think that what these people don't realize, these protesters, is that making all these threats and showing up and making a ruckus and, throwing eggs at people who are lined up to see Dave Chappelle is only going to make his fans feel even cooler for liking him.
Right.
Like, it makes you feel like you are subversive, in the know, and you're part of the cool kids club, which you probably are, because these people, they don't have an alternative. They just want to scream and cry and destroy things.
Did you see the picture? I think Tim talked about it, of the lady at the march with the AK-47 and the bulletproof vest. That was like, she could have gotten the bigger size bulletproof vest, but she didn't. Like, those people come out in force to a lot of these types of events now because they feel like they're standing up for something.
Yeah,
right?
but I think it's the same as, dude, anybody who dresses up in full tactical gear like that is playing pretend.
For real, that's what I
mean, I don't know about that. Like a lot of the dudes who go like the Black Guns Matter dudes do that. Well, when they go to the rallies and stuff like that.
Maybe
like,
them.
Look,
Maybe
there's that great the picture of the guy with like the shoulder mounted shoulder rocket like at that with that guy and they're all hanging out.
I'm not saying like if you're gonna go armed, that's one thing, but to have like the bandana over your mouth with the sunglasses with the bulletproof vest.
It's LARPing for people who have very cushy jobs, who have never been in proximity to violence or danger in their entire lives, and they feel like they need to belong to a resistance cause, and it's just embarrassing. Here is what Dave Chappelle said about them. He said, these were grown people of various genders and gender identities. I'm sure they were.
Yes.
They threw eggs at the fans who were lined up to see the show. One lady was so mad with the protesters, she picked up a police barricade. They look like a bike rack. This bitch picked up the barricade up by herself. And threw it at the crowd. I gotta tell you, it's an amazing feat of strength for a woman.
That's what I was saying.
It's kind of
for a woman, very sexist.
It's very sexist. I mean, a lot of it always feels like when all of these rants, and you always have to be very careful when you watch videos of any of this stuff. Always be cognizant of when a clip is actually clipped at the beginning and the end, because they will be manipulated in a way to make someone look like their worst possible self on either side. Both sides do this, but it always looks like a tantrum. Like, their parents never punish them or put them on timeout, and they can't coherently explain why they're angry in a way because they've never gotten past the use of buzzwords to describe their grievance with you. So instead it becomes a physical reaction that's almost always predictable. And
a little kid breaking their own toys and throwing their toys around the room because they were told that they have to, clean up after themselves. It's that exact behavior.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's inexcusable because they always get away with it, but when there's any resistance from the other side, then the police crack down. These people get special privilege every time.
But then talk about fascism.
Yes.
True, right? Yeah.
When the power is on their side.
It's the same. It's the same thing as people in Hollywood talking about fighting the system when you're literally the system.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's funny seeing them be like, oh, like I'm punk and I'm anti-establishment, but that the little pride flag you're waving is the flag that every major establishment is trying to put on as their flag, and they're trying to say, hey, we're cool with this, guys. We're cool. You're very much not.
They're posing as the side that represents love. When in reality, this is the ultimate indictment of them. Mm-hmm. They're claiming that the Dave Chappelle fans are peddling hatred and
when they're out there hating
transphobia or isms of various kinds. When in reality, they are threatening violence.
Yes.
And then the people in Dave Chappelle's crowd are saying we don't have a problem with you. We would actually like to talk, and we would like to enjoy comedy. Mm-hmm. And this is why there is nothing recognizable as comedy available on offer today, aside from a few exceptions. I think Troy Bond, Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz is a good one. There's a couple
lot of comics, but the thing is, a lot of comics that are coming up, the newer comics that aren't really established, they're all going for I support you. I relate to that, as opposed to actually laughing. Yeah, there's a lot of people
I tend to be very any type of jokes that fall on racial or gender lines, when they go into the identity politics humor, even if it's a joke I find kind of funny, it's kind of starts from the negative to me, because it's it just doesn't make you think in the same way. Not in the way that Bill Burr was able to do it 15, 20 years ago.
Because that felt like he's a fellow traveler, and we're making jokes about things we all experience. But now it's if you make
Shane Gillis.
Some kind of thank you.
Ooh, yeah, shout out. Appreciate it.
It's just impossible to ignore. It's impossible to. Anyways,
I finally made one you can't talk through.
Wow, these days, if there is a comedian who's making jokes, razzing on the straight white male archetype,
Shane Gillis.
I can just feel that they're seething. they're not having fun with the rest of us.
See,
they're
but not
angry.
even that. Well, even if it's a joke that I would normally find to push on back on the other side of the aisle, I don't even like those that much because it feels like low hanging fruit. It feels like both sides are doing it because they know that's going to get them quicker audience than it would be if they put a little more work into it.
Well, you got to realize that Dave Chappelle's not the issue. These people are miserable. They don't find him funny, and so you have to suffer along with them. Yeah. You know, but it's also like, who do you see on TV? Like, who are these late night comics?
The awful
Ryan Long. Ryan Long is one of the ones who does it very, very well.
I mean, that's just what kids see. So, I mean, unfortunately, we're going to get
a
more
lot
of these
people
woke
at fault
comics.
for this are the comics that came up in the 90s, 2000s, and even part of the 2010s who gained their audience and their fame and their money off of irreverent humor that actually came from a genuine human place and was successful because of that. Yeah. And then they pull up the ladder from behind them and shame the comics who do the exact same thing in this day and age. Yeah. John Oliver, for instance, in like the late night space is exactly like that. Yeah, like you have no room to talk, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ralphie May was good back in the day. Ralphie May had good stuff. Obviously, like there's a lot of it, but it's like for most of it now, it's like it's in a world like it's more of a challenge for them, and they have their work cut out for them because you're just not allowed to be funny anymore because everything offends anyone.
You can't take risks.
And I'm not I love self-deprecating humor here, like for myself, but it's like in general for somebody whose job it is to be a comic, it feels like they should want to branch out past that because they know that self-deprecating humor is the only one that's not going to get any pushback.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, it's like I can't really name any up and coming comics.
I can
right?
name plenty. It depends on how, because I watch stand-up comedy.
But I mean, there's a difference between like the people who are making it big on the internet, because that's the other thing we're seeing. We're seeing people not go to comedy clubs; they're just starting YouTube channels.
Maybe the medium of stand-up is dying in and of itself.
Right.
I don't know. If
no,
it's
I think it's fine.
I think it's totally okay. I think if you go to the stand-up clubs and stuff like that, you're always going to see it. It may not be as popular as it used to be, but I don't think it's going to die. It's a really unique art to be able to stand up in front of people and just say things and keep the crowd engaged and stuff like that. But I mean, you're right. Like, it's definitely changing. Even people like Tim Dillon, who is now famous for his podcast. Yeah, he's a great stand-up. He's okay. His last special was not my favorite, but yeah, he definitely came up exclusively through the internet. His podcast was the thing that made him like popular and is getting in bookings. But yeah, it's totally changed. It's everyone that's a big comedian is now doing podcasts. But like things like I saw someone mentioned Kill Tony, like Tony Hinchcliffe. He's very big about stand up, but he's been around the game for a while.
I was just gonna say, there's not new players. People all have become more popular over the last few years. Yeah. But for the most part, there are not new players in the game, and if they are not getting any recognition.
I think that's why comedian is now a universally like hyphenated profession. You have to be comedian podcaster, comedian actor, etc.
Trevor Wallace. Trevor Wallace does his skits and he's got his podcast.
He's a great stand-up. I've seen him do stand-up.
I've never seen a stand-up.
And you have to promote yourself entirely because of course the network television channels are not going to put you on if you're funny.
I enjoy Trevor Wallace's skits. Like he that's an example of somebody who doesn't need to do racial and gender stuff. Like his thing about like sparkling water was like one of my like where he's like he orders a sparkling water and just becomes the most snobby person you've ever seen in the entire world. And everybody's like looking at him like, what the hell? I went to Mitch Hedberg's wake when he passed away.
Wow.
He's from Minnesota. And he's from like a town like right over by us, and his funeral was actually in like his wake and funeral were in Woodbury, where I was from. So like me and a bunch of the kids that I went to high school with because they skipped school, went to that. So that was like he was as close to a rock star in comics as you got back then. Okay. So yeah, big stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of comics right now that I can remember. Like, there's like a guy named Sean Malay or Sean. I forget his name exactly. I can't remember it. But there are a few comics that are growing. You're right. They're all kind of like hyphenated. But I feel like I don't know if that's just because that's the nature of media changing, and that's just like what you have to do. You can't just do
one thing anymore.
You're not allowed to be your own agent, your own manager, social media manager, promoter.
But that's in the DJ world too. You have to do all those things as well. You have to be able to make your own content for social media. It's really like trying to be like an artist in general. You have to be able to do all these
jack of all trades. It's a thing again.
You kind of have to be a jack of all trades.
The Renaissance man is back in 20. Like
Prob's a sign of recession.
Your parents.
I think so too.
Somebody once got mad at me because they thought I was insulting boomers, but I wasn't. I was insulting the millennials who blame boomers for everything.
True.
But your parents were allowed to work a job, and that was enough to make a living for them because they could work for the same corporation for 20 years. Nowadays, you have to be more than that. Especially, at the very least, you have to be more than that when you want to enter an industry like the entertainment industry. So,
do you guys have an opinion on Konstantin Kissin?
I don't.
He's a comedian that was recently on Tucker, and he also did a speech at Oxford Union.
He's been here,
that
right?
got big support recently, and I'm actually surprised that Oxford invited him because
they're
like
they're
out here
based.
Inviting Bad Baby to talk about like why you should start an OnlyFans.
Wait, isn't that the same place that they do the constant things where they push back against communism? I thought that was something. Maybe that's something different.
I don't know. I thought Oxford Union was the same entity that invited Bad Baby to like promote OnlyFans.
Well, they're branching out. They're branching.
There's something for everyone over there.
like
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he pointed out recently. He said, we live in a society in which adults are afraid of children and young people in general.
True.
And when you see somebody who's an adult talking to young people and being straight with them and saying, look, if you care about certain issues in the world, climate change, racial injustice, whining and complaining is not going to fix that problem. We need young people to step up and actually work and build and create things.
Facts.
So, I mean, I think it's true that adults are afraid of young people, like the youth in general, and they can't appeal to them for that reason because they're not respectable. If you're afraid of children, they're not going to respect you.
Yeah. I feel like part of it is because I feel like adults and many boomers and et cetera don't really understand like the internet, and they're almost scared of that because they hear getting canceled and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, well, I don't want to do it because the kids are gonna know, and it's like it's a scary thing you don't know anything about. It's like you don't have any information about it.
That's why they overreact to like getting hate on Twitter and stuff.
Well, it's why they as soon as 5 negative comments come in, a company cancels something. Now we don't have the regular M&Ms
which is
anymore.
why
we got Maya Rudolph.
Andrew Schultz had to stream his own special because the mainstream platforms denied him.
Pick it up. Yeah, they were like, oh,
he had to fund his own thing.
We can't do this.
He Constantine, did you see their original, the original Trigonometry with James Lindsay? 2 years ago. They've done good work for a lot of years. I listened to a lot of Trigonometry when during COVID, early in COVID and stuff like that. So they've done a lot of good work. But it's also really funny because it's all there's certain people like Constantine, like Zuby, who are very gifted at taking complex ideas and simplifying them in a way that people can understand, in a way that I would absolutely kill to be able to do, right? To take these concepts that we struggle with every day here, whether it's culture war, politics, pop culture, the culture war inside of pop culture, all of this stuff, and they find a way to distill it down to the base principles that I've never been able to organize my brain around. Sometimes I think it's their accent. They have the very, very posh accent. Maybe that helps more too. Super posh, and I have my my spastic over the top way of talking.
Minnesota.
But for hey, you watch it. All right,
let's go to Super Chats.
Let's do it.
RS Degyurchev said it's the easiest job for them. The source material is everywhere and readily available. Are they intentionally ruining our favorite properties?
It's vanity.
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no.
It's vanity for the writers for the ones who made the new Resident Evil. It's vanity. We can't bear to just retell because I've got a story to tell, but nobody will watch the one I made because I don't matter. Therefore, I shall latch on to this property and change it to its base fundamental level. Yeah. So that it's like mine, but with a pretty Resident Evil packaging that I can sell to you, despite the fact that it has nothing to do with it.
I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but imagine if medieval bards did the same thing when they retold the Greek epics and stuff like that.
There's voice actors. If I remember correctly, there have been voice actors that have bragged about how they've altered the dub for to soften things for American media. Like
I don't get it. What do you
so
mean?
they will make it. They will change the story kind of.
Oh,
They change the script.
They change aspects of the script
Yeah.
because it's not as politically correct as they.
Yeah,
like
that's like a thing in anime and whatever they would say instead of like game end.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can say on game end. They'll say that instead of they would say, oh, they got knocked out or like whatever. They'd say, oh, well, he got whatever. But in reality, in the original one, they said that he was game ended. You know, so
Minecrafted,
yes. Minecraft game end noise. Yeah.
Yesh said, loving the longshoreman vibes surge.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
real.
know.
You look like you're about to go get some lobsters, man.
East Coast is so weird. I don't know.
You
Anyways.
look like a New Englander.
Anyways.
You look like
Does
dude.
he?
Charlie could tell you. You look like you're from Boston, man.
Never been.
Joe
Yep.
Schmo 32 Electric Boogaloo said, Halo is a pile of hot garbage. I
Yes.
tried to love it so hard and it broke my heart every week. Why did I
Yep.
need to see Master Chief's face and ass?
you didn't
Good
need
question.
to see both. The funny thing is like when I saw it, I'm
Wait,
like,
you can see that?
yes, in the show.
You're so excited.
I'm gonna go, guys.
He's like, I gotta go.
I'm busy.
Like the funny thing about it is Pablo Schreiber, the guy who plays Master Chief, he's like a handsome dude. It's kind of like with Pedro Pascal, right? Like they don't want to they want
right.
people to see their face. Like Pedro Pascal complained as he's playing the Mandalorian that he doesn't want to be behind a
Right.
mask the whole time, right? Also, he should always keep his facial hair. When he's clean shaven, he's like such a baby face that it's like he's got even butt chin like worse than mine. Like he's
Really?
very big baby face. So he needs to keep the facial hair.
Oh, shoot, what was I just going to say? Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
Don't you hate that?
It's bad.
He's too busy counting all his money.
Yeah.
This is all real money, guys, by the way. All this money at the end of the show, we get to keep all of this. So thanks very much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Huawei 37 said Final Fantasy 15 exists. It has a movie prequel.
Okay.
I knew somebody would like show up in the chat to, on Dane's behalf, bring up Final Fantasy. Rhaegar Targaryen said, I voted Be More Like Velma because I'm a Clown World accelerationist.
Nice.
Clown World, all the things. Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider changed my life.
My man. Nice.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Do you know why the whole Master Chief, butt thing was so controversial?
Because if you don't need to see his face, do you really need to see
We don't
any
want to
other part?
see Master Chief's butt, and we don't want to see Thor's butt.
Well, they also had...
It's cooler
Good
if they
point.
see his butt, but they leave the helmet on.
Yeah, that'd be fine. If they
He
did
has
that,
the helmet on,
that's
but
cool.
nothing else.
So they also had...
Fine.
It's funny you say that because there was also... They had Master Chief do the dirty in the show with
did?
the Alien Queen. Anyway...
Excuse me?
But there's a romance element, which doesn't exist because if you actually know Halo, you'll know that Master Chief was basically a genetically mutated human who's incapable.
childhood.
Yeah, he doesn't have those hormones. He's not interested in love.
No, he's
Well,
interested in war like a real man.
Yeah, straight up. He's just off the charts on testosterone and nothing else.
Yeah.
So
True.
so that's what I'm saying. They don't know how, and not to mention all of the women were. It was a federation of wine-aunts. It was just a bunch of none of them looked like they couldn't even do the courtesy of finding women who looked like they might kind of want to go to war. Like they weren't politicians, not in that same sense. So it's why do they all look like they are going to a Jane Austen book club? Why is this going on?
Yeah, true.
T-Bone said, 2 days in a row, you have the perfect ratio of guys to marry. Love it.
The thing with
Is this a sexist comment?
No,
It
it
seems
was
like it. I
it
don't
was
understand.
they were talking about
What?
John Delarose was talking about how Ethan Van Sciver says that in comics there is a perfect 3 guys to 1 girl talking ratio. Otherwise it gets annoying.
The opposite of a Bechdel test.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Interesting. Tacti Platy sent us $2 without a message.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
X said, you're almost there. I could sort of hear the crisis party. Just a little more PTSD. You can do it.
Oh.
Mary's already a ghost, and you're probably okay, too.
So X is not Surge X, dude.
What?
X is not Surge X.
There's a different person named X?
Yes. So Surge
cool.
X did not do anything to help you. He did not drop the Surge name.
Yeah, I mean, Surge X changed his name to be Surge with an E instead of being Serg without an E, which is nice. But we're boys now. We're boys.
Rigatan said, "Welcome back, Mary and Surge. Elden Ring. He really wants you to play Elden Ring." Caper2X said, "Brett, but did you realize the first 2 episodes were setting his universe for people that had not read the books?"
Don't care. Like, I get it. I get it. But like, people don't have the time these days, dude. Like, this could just be me just not liking the show. And it's funny too, because Ramon Rodriguez is a really good actor, and Sonia San is a really good actress, and the other girl whose name I can't remember has this really
Thank you.
Look, I'll tell you what.
Turn up the PTSD.
You guys are loving the PTSD today.
Yeah, turn it up to 11.
Can that get louder, please? I can't really
hear.
They can't hear it.
That can be louder.
I'll tell you what. I will watch one more episode this weekend. I will watch episode 2. I will try to like it more.
He's got a lot of Velma to watch, okay?
Dude, here's the thing.
That's a
lot
of cash.
This is the thing where when I have to watch Velma now, I legitimately have nightmares.
No, you don't. Really.
Not nightmares about Velma, but I don't sleep well because I know it's going to be miserable.
I couldn't sleep all night just thinking about the fact that I had to watch it in the morning.
I was up till 2. It was 2:50, and I'm like, 10 more minutes, and I can get this over with. And I fell asleep and had just the worst night of like on and off sleep for hours.
Did you cry?
And then basically, yeah. Nice. And then I woke up, I watched it, and it's actually like, it's just as bad as it was in episode 1, but you're so numb to it now. It's not getting progressively worse. It's just still just as awful, which is almost more depressing.
They're brainwashing him, Mary. You hear this?
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that it's just as bad.
Dane was like, when he saw a review, Dane said, Brett just looks like his soul is leaving his body. And I was like, his smile and optimism, gone. There's not a twinkle left in his eye.
It's broken me.
Mindy Kaling is...
It's not brainwashing.
I think
like
there's some kind of Hollywood satanic pedophile elite curse that they put on Velma.
Yeah, does Velma like stare right into like your eyes and start speaking in Latin? Does that happen?
Follow you.
Dude, it's just, and I trust me. What I'm saying is that I would actually respect the show more if it got progressively worse. If the jokes got more racist, if it got more hateful, if it was at least trying to outdo itself. But it's like we found a baseline level of really, 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 really bad and just kept it going.
They should have them adopt like a rescue dog, and that becomes Scooby-Doo, but they just can't train him. And it's just a regular dog.
Yeah,
it doesn't talk.
Not clever whatsoever. Yeah. It's actually like very, very stupid.
Yeah, it's just a regular dog.
That'd be great.
And that would be fitting for the show.
I would watch the hell out of that.
Johnny Beck sent us a thumbs up.
Thank you, Johnny Beck.
Thanks.
I Am What I Am said, here's some money to help make some special bite-sized brownies for Ian. Call them Ian Snacks.
Ian Snacks.
Nice.
That's cute.
That's
Ian
a good
snacks.
idea.
Well, Ian will be back soon.
He'll be back today? Is that what you said, Colin?
I think they're coming back tonight.
Yeah, I know that. Tacti Plati sent us $50 without a message. Thank you for the big super chat, Tacti.
And from I Am What I Am. Thank you guys, both.
Yes. Evan King said, Chappelle did nothing wrong. Jokes aren't violence. Real violence is the person who tried to stab him last year. True. Also, check out Dave's film, Half Baked.
Mary, have you seen Half Baked?
That's a good one.
You
gotta watch that. It's great.
Why'd you ask me if I've seen it?
It's great.
Well, it's just because it's so old. It's not something that would have been. It's from like.
It's got Brewer in it too.
Yeah.
Kelvin's a Zoomer too. You didn't ask him if he'd seen Half Baked.
Yeah. Well, I look at Kellen and I look at Serge and I just think the likelihood that they've seen it are high.
Are you microaggressing me?
Yes. I am. I would ask the same. I would say the same thing if I said, has anybody here seen like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle? See, I've
seen it.
Great film.
I would assume that Serge has probably seen it.
Mary, have you seen that movie?
No.
Oof,
let's do one more and then we will move on.
Alejandro Reyes said, this is all just high production value fan fiction. Loads of fan writers go in just insane directions online if you read them. Fetishes abound.
Oh yeah, and they're all self-inserts.
Yeah, it's been like confirmed, I think with Elsa Gate, that even these animation studios hire people who were discovered from making weird fetish fan art of these characters. And then they're signed on to do art for the canon material. Especially for kids shows, it's just creepy as all hell.
Yeah, people are weird and gross. All right, guys, we're moving on. Kanye West is married. He's married, guys.
Fake
you guys
married,
know
guys.
Well,
I need to clarify.
He is?
They had a private ceremony where no marriage certificate was involved.
Yes.
Okay, so
but he's wearing a wedding ring.
He's wearing a wedding ring. They're married in name only. Her name is Bianca Censori, if you've not kept up, and she is Australian. Her family is in Australia. And now that they're thinking of, visiting her home country and possibly living there, Kanye needs to think about, getting a visa to live there. And his ability to do so is being called into question.
Well, that's what happens when you say racist, mean things on the internet, you hear.
I mean, Australia is one of those clown countries that actually does care about what you say on Facebook.
They're like, we will lock you in your home during COVID, but you can't say mean things.
We're going to weld you in your house.
Kanye needs to become the next crocodile hunter out in Australia.
He's going to be like Steve Irwin's
What if he does just
successor?
develop a whole thick Australian accent?
Dude,
he just comes
that's
back.
a great idea.
And then he raps in the accent.
If he has a
Are
song
there
called
Australian rappers? Is that a thing?
Yes,
he will be the first.
It is actually a thing, yes.
Okay.
It's really difficult to listen to, but...
I mean, I'm not even a huge fan of British rap.
I like Russian rap. I think it has a good ring to it.
That's a thing. Pretty much everywhere there's rap now.
If you the first time I heard Idris Elba rap, I literally cringed. I fell to the ground and started shaking of cringe.
You had a seizure.
I'm like, you are such a good it's kind of, I felt the same way, and people are gonna get mad. I felt the same way when The Rock rapped. I'm like, don't do it. You are talented. You don't need to.
Yeah, he is. Did you hear that song?
You do not need to do this. This is literally my hottest take here, because people got really mad when I'm like, I don't like that song. They're like, but the Tech 9 verse. I'm like, well, I'm not talking about the Tech 9 verse. And I don't really care about Tech 9 anyways.
I don't mind his rapping, but it does sound like I'm watching a vitamin commercial or a protein supplement where he's just kind of shouting at me.
Yeah.
He's going very fast to give all of the disclaimers.
Yeah,
true.
Anyway.
Okay, actually,
it's about power.
Mighty Rax says Plan B. Yes, I'm actually okay with Plan B. That's not that Plan B. It's a rapper.
Plan B, the rapper. Yeah.
Different.
I don't know why you immediately assumed. I was like, wow.
You made a face, and she's like, you better not be.
I knew you weren't. Okay, so there are Australian public officials who are saying that he might get rejected for a visa. Firstly, Australia's education minister, Jason Clare, says that if Kanye does apply for a visa, it might get rejected because the country has a history of turning away people with anti-Semitic beliefs. Weird how they're so selective about immigration only when it suits their ideological agenda. But otherwise, everyone else has a right to live there, fundamentally.
Well, borders are really just imaginary lines written.
He would add so much value to Australia. Yeah. He would bring so much revenue to the country if he could operate his business there, right?
Well, he doesn't.
And he's got to have a song called "That's Not a Knife." He's if he made that song, featuring and then he can change his name to Kanye Crocula or something like that, and I'm down.
He's not going to get any special treatment for being a star.
None.
He has to go through the same process as everybody else. And I didn't know that this was a thing. There is such a thing as a Council of Australian Jewry.
What?
And the executive...
Wow.
What?
The executive of it, Peter Wortham, said, we've made the case that this particular individual, does not meet the character test, and that it would be in the national interest not to grant him a visa. And we set our reasons in some detail. And ultimately, if he did apply for a visa and it came down to the decision, then it would be their immigration minister, Andrew Giles' decision to make. If it comes down to it, I am really intrigued. I hope that he does apply for a visa, and then if he gets rejected, it'll just put him in the headlines all over again.
Yeah. He can write a song about it.
He could.
Yeah, he's even canceled by Australian government.
I'm telling you, it's I wish I pulled up the picture too. In fact, I'm gonna pull it up anyways because they can't see it on here. I was I was having my mental breakdown this morning after watching Velma, and I was looking for. I was like, is there any pictures of Kanye West in a kangaroo? because
He's been around for so long. He might as well have taken a picture with a kangaroo.
Do the AI generator. Kanye as a kangaroo.
So there is, in fact, this picture.
Let's see it. Oh.
Let's see if we can go wide. There's the one where it has your name as Hannah
Siamese
Claire.
kangaroo to represent Kanye West in his divorce from Kim Kardashian.
Woo! So
thank you guys.
I
love that there's just a deformed kangaroo on the screen and then screaming. Like, what is this show becoming?
Kanye guru. Nice.
I kind of like the idea of turning that into a clip and then just saying like send this to somebody and like try to explain this show in one.
You must send this to 15 friends or the Kanye kangaroo will haunt you.
Kanye guru.
Money guns aren't going off, Brett.
If that is true,
why didn't they go off?
I'm gonna reset it. I don't know.
Oh no, we're gonna have to go through the sound again.
No, yeah, you guys are gonna have to listen to this. You guys are gonna have to listen to the sound again.
The money inside this.
Dude, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Is it cool?
Jeez. I wonder if it will work this
Ooh,
time.
another crisis party.
No, I just reset it.
Nice.
Mary's is broken.
What's happening to them? They don't work.
You guys are like it broke.
Nice.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I guess my money gun isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it should be working. Like yours should be working.
Anyways,
next super chat will know if yours is working.
So I found out
there's a Siamese kangaroo.
I found out that
screen.
Kanye is not doing himself any favors for his reputation in Australia because he recently appeared on a shopping spree with Bianca, wearing a shirt that had the coat of arms of the German Reich on it.
Wow.
That was used by the Nazis before they adopted the swastika. And then this word, I don't speak German. I don't know how to say it. It says Bundeswehr or something. Bundeswehr?
Yeah.
And it's the name for the Federal Defense Forces in Germany.
Correct.
He was wearing this while shopping at Balenciaga, of all places, with Bianca.
Nominate Kanye for the grifties.
This is so confusing. Like, I have no idea why. After Balenciaga dropped him for his comments.
It's not grifting. It's radical love, man. Hitler. Child predators. Kanye loves everyone.
No, he said he hated Balenciaga like a month ago.
No.
Yeah,
he did came to their defense.
No, he
and
came
was
out
like,
and said there was an interview.
I stand with Balenciaga.
When he did Alex Jones, he stood with Balenciaga.
Yeah, and then
well, before that, there was a video that he posted like shortly before that where he did criticize.
He's such a master
Balenciaga.
troll.
He tweeted a bunch of things that were like, I stand with Balenciaga, they're not the problem. And he went and like trashed Disney, but he said like Balenciaga is not the problem. Disney is trying to,
he's a master troll.
Indoctrinate the kids.
He is.
I mean, it's maybe not even trolling, but just so much as like, you cannot tell me what to do. Screw you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
there's not really a rhyme or reason to it. It's just you can't dictate what he does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have nightmares about this picture of him with the kangaroo. I really am.
I hate it. It's cursed. It's so cursed. By the way, kangaroos are terrifying. I find them so scary.
They're super buff. So
they can run at like 40 miles per hour or something.
Dang, faster than Surge.
And nobody hates them more than Australians who talk about how they're awful.
Yeah, because they're just rats. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
There we got it. I got
Surge.
It.
If we get one more crisis party, we'll be at 5, and you'll have to shave your head.
Did we make that wager already?
We did
not. I wasn't aware of that.
No, not make the wager.
Or maybe you can just shave the part that's not showing when you wear the beanie.
He just literally leaves the beanie on and just goes around like this.
Oh, I like it.
Turns it into the worst, literally the worst bowl cut in history.
Bowl cuts are sick.
Dude, do it.
All right, in other news,
10,
guys,
yes.
Kim Kardashian and Northwest have come out to create pro-police propaganda with a new Paw Patrol movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite.
They're both going to be acting as voice actors in the new Paw Patrol The Mighty movie.
Nepotism, the movie.
Weird, though, because I remember in the Summer of Love, people were like, look, Paw Patrol is indoctrinating children to support police brutality.
I remember
what
that.
happened?
When
did the script change?
The funny thing
when
is,
did the software update happen?
I found during all that, I was like walking home one day, and there was like a little Paw Patrol doll sitting like it fell out of a kid's pocket, like at the local soccer stadium, like the bubble soccer stadiums where like adults play. And like I took a picture of it because this was like right after that happened, and I posted it like on Facebook. And I kid you not, I got a comment from an actual human adult that seriously put propaganda.
Nice.
An actual person
propaganda
said
that's
that.
Dope.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's a real term, but like this is like it's like, and like that was kind of one of those like seminal moments for me where I'm like, we are an unserious people living in unserious times, and everything is fake.
I miss the Umi Zoomies.
Umi Zoomies.
What are those?
It's just another kid show.
I've
Team
never heard
Umi
of that.
Zoomy.
I've never heard of that.
They solved
Thank
all
you.
the issues.
That was never the deal. That was never the deal.
It's official.
It was a unilateral decision.
We'll make it into a YouTube short for the for the prop culture.
That'll be perfect.
That was a unilateral decision.
Hey,
not
listen,
a deal.
Serge had to.
No.
He's gonna cut his hair because Brett had to dye his hair.
Did you have to dye your hair?
I did well at 20. There we go.
Yeah, but
guys, the crisis, the guns are going all over the place today. That's it's weird.
Yeah,
What's going on
it
with
is.
that?
I just love the
I did
idea
not
that
back out of anything.
Paw Patrol is actually propaganda, and all of the cop puppies are like golden retrievers, and they're trying to arrest all of the chocolate labs.
There's a few times that I had to watch Luke's dog, and so I would just put on Paw Patrol for him.
Oh, did they love it? Dogs love Paw Patrol. It's official.
Yeah, it's there is dog TV. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's
not Paw Patrol.
It's not
okay,
Paw
no,
Patrol.
I kid you not. Every time the power goes out in the studio, the TV you see behind Mary there turns on to a dog grooming channel.
That's
Every
awesome.
time.
Every time. It's like it goes automatically to a dog grooming
That's funny.
channel. That is an actual thing, and it's just like it's always like it's like Bill brought his so and so to this, and it's like the dog's like I didn't think
it
I
in
could
black
get him
and
trained.
white?
No, it's not. It's in color. But there's always like an
Okay.
ad for like a your local dog groomer down at the bottom. So like local groomers can like put their advertisements on there as if there's people just sitting around watching the dog grooming channel in the middle of the day that like have any type of disposable income. I guess old people.
Maybe.
Right? Like,
Maybe.
but it's like that's the kind of thing where it's like if we're talking like old me and I'm going through a panic attack, that's what you put on TV. You put on the dog grooming channel.
If you
right?
just experienced a traumatic crisis party and you're having a panic attack over it, then
Yeah.
you turn on the dog grooming channel.
yeah, that's what you do.
Let's
groom
go through some
dogs?
super
Whoa,
chats,
that's
guys.
I thought you were
scary.
gonna say the woman from The Ring would come out of the TV when the power.
Oh,
would
doesn't she have a name? I thought she was like a name or something, right?
Does she have a name?
I thought she did. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it was like Morgan something. Maybe I'm wrong. Potatoes for Seamus said, Kellen looking like he about to hit the club with all that money in his hand.
Oh yeah,
You
dude.
must-
Girl,
Or we must have a merry Aussie accent today. Brett,
you
you're
telling?
doing fine.
why is everybody always gaslighting me? I'm getting so sick of the
Breathe.
gaslighting.
No, you're doing a
Breathe.
terrible job, Brett.
Thank you,
Relax. Chill out, Brett.
dude. Brett, chill.
Take a damn breath.
Take a breath. Look, I get like it's funny too because if you talk to me off air, I'm actually not as manic, not nearly as manic, but on air, there's like my brain is
Just activates your PTSD flashbacks.
yes.
Of
Well,
every crisis.
I don't know.
party.
Every time I've seen you off the air, you keep pointing that airsoft gun at me. You just come flying around the corner, pretending you're
Yeah.
on the
gonna take
SWAT
out-
team.
Those are airsoft guns?
those.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought those are real guns.
Yes,
had no
that's
idea.
the first thing I do when I get out of here. I point real weapons at.
Get that MP5 out.
Yeah.
True.
I guess I'll do the Aussie accent for this one. Benjamin Ebacker said, "Why not have an Eminem as an Eminem?"
Oh my god.
Yeah, better than Maya Rudolph. Eminem. We should have pulled up the dick.
Well, then people were changing the story and saying it was Maya Angelou. I was like, what the hell?
Who was what was the story recently that they ended up claiming was fake? Where like the song "Natural Woman" is transphobic.
Aretha Franklin,
Aretha-
got called a transphobe or a TERF or
And
something.
then the account, but I guess the account is apparently a satire account. And even that one the other day, there's the one of It's the woman who says the calling a fat girl obese is the N-word for fat people.
No, they said like, why is a slur trending on Twitter, on Elon Musk's Twitter?
The name of that account is Dr. Anita B. Eaton.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm like, all right, I won't say obese. I'll just start saying gargantuan. I mean,
there's a lot of words. Fat? Or are we supposed to say like something clinical?
Humongous.
I don't know.
There's a lot of good words to describe big, so that's all I'm saying. There's a lot of good words out there. Yeah.
I Am What I Am said, any old PS1 games do you think need a remake? I say Legend of Dragon.
Oh, Spyro.
Spyro is a good one.
Did they ever make Turok for PlayStation 1?
Turok was sweet too.
Yeah. Turok and Turok 2, which I didn't play on PlayStation. I played on 64. But Turok 2 is incredible.
Dude, I want to play. I want a new Crash Bandicoot game.
Crash would be sweet.
But it's like GTA style. But you are Crash Bandicoot.
Wow, that would be cool.
That'd be interesting.
I'm with that one.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Unusable Alpaca said Lauren Boebert as Lara Croft. Let's effing go. You're welcome for the visual, Brett.
Is there a place is there a petition for this? Is there a place that I can sign to get this made?
Dude, are there any like prototypes, images?
AI generator.
Has anybody seemed to make any fan art of such a thing for research purposes only?
That would be funny. That's the prompt. Lauren Boebert as Lara Croft.
Now, someday she will end up coming here, and that clip will end up on the TV downstairs.
It will not.
And
unless you're wearing the bad luck hat.
Unless I'm wearing the bad luck hat, and I'll be sitting down there and just have to own it.
With a rose in between your teeth.
No, that's when you just run. Just run.
No, at that point, you just have to own it. At that point, you just have to be like, yeah, I said that. Look, it's a show, guys. What do you want me to do? I'm entertaining people. I swear, it's not something I actually want to see.
Wink wonk. Alejandro Reyes said, can the Crisis Party get 25.06% louder each time it happens? It certainly feels like it does already.
Look, there's like, this is one of those things. And thank you, Darius Harvey, also for the
big super chat from Darius Harvey. Thank you.
Nice, Darius.
But like there's all these like, they're like, could you like cycle out? Like, so there's different crisis parties every time it comes and like that. And like we would have to talk to Chris about the programming for something like that to be able to put multiple crisis parties on one drive and then see if we could program that somehow. That's a possibility, maybe.
If you like move up the tiers with each crisis
Well, you
party.
could also do like a little chime, not like a whole song like the crisis party, but like if Darius sends $50, there's a specific chime for $50, $100, $20.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Dumbledore said, Maker's Mark, the cure for insomnia, Brett.
Brett
doesn't drink.
Unfortunately for me, that is not an option. You're better off with NyQuil, which isn't much of a help anyways, because it makes you groggy the next day.
Yeah, it does.
What about a foot bath?
Never thought of that.
Interesting solution.
Yeah,
I'll look into that.
If you're not relaxed after a foot bath, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah,
all right.
interesting
Let's
point.
go.
Bobcat said, I have to ask if you've all played the Division 2 yet. Dark Zone West has a rather interesting story for why it went dark. Well, I haven't.
I was just talking about the Division yesterday. They're making a new one, the Division Heartlands, I believe. I've been pretty eager. It's still hush hush, but it's coming down the road.
I Am What I Am said, simple age test. Name the movie this quote is from. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
It's a knife.
That's not a knife.
That's not a knife.
knife.
This is a knife. It's from Crocodile Dundee.
Great scene.
The thing is, I've watched Crocodile Dundee, but I just don't remember anything about it. It was
I
like
believe that's from the
Crocodile
sequel.
Dundee.
I
Sequel,
believe that line is from the sequel, but I could be misremembering that part of it.
X said, to be fair, Australia's border is not artificial.
Yeah,
Yes, that's true.
Very true.
Cursed country, by the way. I can't imagine living there. Everything's upside down.
Imagine living in
bunch of creams.
Australia.
Everything is upside down. The spiders are like the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah, not to mention the
You're
drop bees.
constantly getting boxed by kangaroos in the street.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's summer and during Christmas time. Like, what a nightmare.
Yeah, but we have San Francisco.
Well, I've never
I
never
don't
thought
even
to
know.
live there either. So
I don't know what they're talking about in the chat, but Lewis R. just mentioned Batman Forever, to which I say, rock on, assuming you mean good, because
Maybe
Batman
he was
Forever
insulting
rules. If he's insulting it, that sucks.
if he's insulting it, F you,
Yeah.
get out of the chat.
Exactly.
X said, FYI, I've been X since before this show existed.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
He's innocent. He's not
What's up,
Surge X.
X gonna give it to you.
Surge X is a distinct person from X, which is a distinct person from me.
From Surge.com.
Yeah, I'm Surge. That's Chat Surge, is what they said. And we just
Surge.
determined that in the chat. And then there's X, who is XX.
Shimmy Shelley's right. It's the scene in Crocodile Dundee where the girlfriend gets kidnapped and throws the knife at the guy's head in the club before they rescue her. It's like right outside, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
X said, hear me out, money guns directly at faces.
Dude,
that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Somebody's going to get a
face.
paper cut on their iris, be blinded for a life.
I flinched. I can't count how many times I flinched.
They are directly
and
at
yeah. Every now and again, one of these crisp $20 bills will catch the air perfectly and just boom,
smacks you.
Yeah, it just goes just a beeline right for my forehead.
I like it when they get stuck to the mics.
Yeah, oh, that's cool too. Yeah, it's like ninja stars, man. They come out flying.
I am what I am said, now you can shave your head, Surge.
It's true.
This was never agreed upon.
Aren't
but
you happy?
That's a big super chat. That's a big super chat. Yo,
it was, yeah.
If you feel
Thank you.
bad or whatever, you can like DM me. Maybe I'll get Ian Crossan to send you money or something like that.
Louis R says they're clearly fighting about Batman Forever in the chat. He says, Batman Forever is based. I will not accept your rudeness. Thank you. Yes, Batman Forever rules. And the funny thing is, they're talking about Two-Face. I think it's the Riddler in that movie. It's Jim Carrey, who has what I love to talk about. He's got the disappearing and reappearing hair, meaning that when he's playing Edward Nygma, he's got the coif. It's like the high hair. But then when he's the Riddler, he's got short, spiky pink hair.
That's the riddle.
Kellen, I need some money. We need to redistribute the wealth a little bit here. Come on. You know who's in charge?
She's she's never been shy about admitting she's a communist.
I like how you just like pay pig to marry IRL.
PCC is just CCP backwards. Okay. If you think about it, communism is just pay pigging. On a larger scale.
So true.
Let's do one more and then we will move on.
Bobcat said, did you know that there is no permit required to own a kangaroo in West Virginia, South Carolina, or Wisconsin?
Oh, we know what we're doing tomorrow.
Adopting a roo.
Let's go get a roo.
Yeah, let's get a roo for real. That'd be kind of sweet.
We'll just end up like Logan Paul having
I was gonna say celebrity boxing. We'll do Ian versus the kangaroo.
I wonder who would take that bout, actually.
All right, let's move on. We've got a story about Hollywood being racist, and it's not what you think it is.
Nope.
We all know Hollywood is racist against white people. But actually, this director thinks that her movie didn't get nominated for Best Picture because of racism in Hollywood.
Yep.
It was Till. He just got paid by the pay
Now I
pigs.
can't even make this a segment because it's going to be like racism
Sorry, guys.
in Hollywood. And
Sorry.
I'm like, isn't that hilarious, guys?
Racism, guys. We love that stuff.
The complete and utter disregard for someone's humanity based on the color of their skin. Isn't that just a hoot and a holler?
Brett, what's wrong with you, dude?
Come on, man.
Ugh.
You're gonna get like clipped so deceptively.
Oh man, okay. You can
Anyways,
restart that if you need to. It's okay. That's my fault.
This movie Till is about Emmett Till's mother. He was a victim of lynching.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And they made this movie about his mother. And the director's name is I hope I pronounced this right. Chinonye Chukwu?
Yes.
Yes, so she feels very snubbed, very victimized that she did not get nominated for Best Director for the Oscars this year. And it's so hurtful to her that she took to Instagram and said this. She posted this absolutely insane, unhinged rant. She said, "We live in a world and work in industries that are so aggressively committed to upholding whiteness and perpetuating an unabashed misogyny towards black women. And yet, I am forever in gratitude for the greatest lesson in my life. Regardless of any challenges or obstacles, I will always have the power to cultivate my own joy, and it's this joy that will continue to be one of my greatest forms of resistance." And then she put up a fist emoji. Wow.
Nice.
I mean, I just think that this is so sad. Entitled of her.
It's sad.
It's sad, too, because it's the false humility of the second part that 30 years ago would have been real and honest, and it would have been somebody who actually, struggled through something extremely painful. And this is, struggling through the pain of not winning an Oscar or not being nominated for an Oscar.
Well,
spare me.
It's like I feel bad because this person's brainwashed, not because the story's not important, but she thinks that she's doing everything right, and then when she's ultimately let down, she has no sense of purpose.
Maybe it's also because in 2021 Jane Campion won for Power of the Dog, and in 2022 actually swap those years around, Chloe Zhao won for Nomadland. So the last two best directors have been women. This year, no woman directors, as we discussed yesterday. It's all men this year.
What a grave injustice.
May the best man win, ladies and gentlemen. Am I right? Yeah.
I don't even think it's about that. Yeah. I think it's obviously I heard about that, but who directed The Woman King, or who? I'm actually really surprised she didn't get nominated either. And then the Billy on the Street guy, he got really. It's like, dude. You guys are artists at the end of the day in Hollywood.
Yeah, nor did the lady who directed Women Talking, which nobody saw. All of these are movies that nobody saw.
It's called Women Talking.
Also,
do you think people are going to watch?
I do also want to point out that we do live in a time in Hollywood now where it's so girl bossified that they can't even make an Emmett Till movie. They have to make a movie about Emmett Till's mom.
Right. Yeah, you can't even be a victim of lynching and be enough of a victim to have a movie made about you if you're male. Yep. That's actually wild to me. So she's getting torn apart in the comments on Instagram. One person said, "So, because of your skin color and gender, you expect to get an award, and because you didn't get one, it's racism and misogyny." Right. What a strange sense of entitlement you have.
That's true.
It is entitlement. It is a form of entitlement.
Depending on the outcome they get, if it's the one that they want, if she got nominated, she would be like, look at how far Hollywood has come. Mm-hmm. They used to be so racist and misogynistic, and they nominated me because the times are finally changing. Things are finally turning around.
But there's still so much work to do.
But then when she doesn't get nominated, it's because systemic racism and patriarchy still runs Hollywood, guys. And there's so much work to be done.
I'm sorry. It's important to acknowledge this country's past, and especially events that are tragic like Emmett Till's story. But at the same time, that's all that we've gotten for the past 30 years is you need to be depressed. Yeah, you need to be sad. You need to you need to feel
where's the next
guilty.
Jumanji? Come on, I want.
Dude, let's tell. Why can't history be I get we have a dark history, but
every country has a dark history.
But I was just saying, we can white pill it. Where are the fun, good stories that...
Right, exactly. And we covered this when Will Smith was talking about Emancipation, where he plays a slave.
Yeah, sorry, we can't give 2 slave movies in a row.
And it's
Best Picture.
He recalled his own daughter going to him and being like, Daddy, do we really need another slave movie?
Wow.
His own daughter asked him this question, and he didn't think, maybe I should... decide to do something I'm known for, like comedy or action.
Willow's kind of based. I mean, she's definitely Gen Z, 100%. She's like a punk rocker now.
I mentioned
this.
I've seen that. I haven't seen her saying anything obnoxious yet.
Does she still whip her hair back and forth?
She does.
That was a good song.
She does.
Also, I want to point out that they missed. I pointed this out yesterday. They've missed an opportunity to not introduce an award for best slap in a movie and call it the Will Smith Award. They could do that.
Wow.
Are there that many slaps in movies
There's
to
gotta
choose
be.
from, though?
I bet you there is.
Maybe they'll start just adding slaps in movies to get the nomination.
I will say they should do awards for the best visual effects non-CGI.
So practical effects?
Practical effects. I'm pretty
practical
sure
effects.
I mean,
are there awards for that?
No,
I don't think there are.
Why not?
I mean, there are for there's best effects, but I don't think that it quantifies a special. But here's the thing: there should be an award for stunt people. There is no award for stunt people.
Yep, there's not.
That is a tragedy.
Because stunt people aren't Hollywood narcissists that use award shows as their narcissistic attention fuel.
Yeah. Not only do I want millions and millions of dollars, but I also want to be awarded for it and be able to speak in grandstand for an hour. And it's it's just so tiring to me. But
it's so presumptuous because she's not even talking about the performance of Till as a movie with audiences.
Right.
What did the people who viewed it think of it? You know, the actual monetary success of the movie. Yeah. It's just that she didn't get this arbitrary award from a very insulated voting committee that is rigged anyway.
Which is interesting.
They have such a warped perception. We were talking about this with the maker of Reservation Dogs as well.
Yeah, and that's funny too, because that's actually one where I think that they were snubbed, because I think Reservation Dogs is fantastic.
But even if they were, it's like, you made a fantastic show.
Just didn't get
it did well. Be happy with the fact that you made something good that people liked, instead of being obsessed with these stupid award shows that nobody watches anyway.
Nobody comes from a place of gratitude. Everyone comes from a place of envy.
You know what? They need to change the award shows completely, because no one's watching them. They should just make it March Madness like tournament style, where they put their rankings up, right? So if whatever movie, I don't know, if Tom Cruise is going to win somehow, make him the first seed. You know,
Brett, you talked about the Razzies yesterday. We know that like all of the viewership for normal award shows is just plummeting year by year. How is the Razzies doing? Are their ratings going up, or they're going down?
I don't think they embraced what they could enough with it.
Irreverent
if all of the actors went and attended, and if they didn't bend the knee and remove the nomination for the 12-year-old girl,
if they weren't such piss babies about it,
such babies,
would do better.
Like there were some people that weren't happy with like my take on that, where I was like, look, she's 12 years old. I'm like, well, she made the money, didn't she? She'd certainly accept the award if she won a good award. She only is supposed to be allowed to get the good awards. She's not allowed to get the bad awards. If we didn't want child
actors to get criticized ever, then we wouldn't have child actors in movies at all.
Well, that's I said, and plus she was like, if they made a child acting category, it would be.
Thank you.
I was like, if they made a child acting category,
it means we get another prize party.
It's a lot to take in every time.
I love it.
It
gets better each time.
That's a lot.
Anyways,
if they leaned into it, because child actors tend to be so bad anyways, and they just made a child acting category, and it was just filled with horrible stuff. Look, the kids need to learn.
Bella Ramsey would be in it if she were a child.
And let's face it, you're going to hear far worse from, like, it's worse to be rejected constantly, going to 1,000 auditions every year. Like, that, if there's one thing that I have a lot of respect for actors for, it's that they have to literally prostrate themselves before a panel of people every day to be told no. Like, that's not a very easy thing to do. It takes a healthy ego and an ability, a combination of either a healthy ego or a lot of resiliency to be able to constantly be putting yourself forward for consideration for stuff. Hear no 99 times out of 100. You wonder why they're fragile.
It's actually more rare than you think that they're resilient and have a healthy ego, because that rejection is, I think, part of what they're addicted to. They're addicted to the gamble of like being validated or being rejected by the public, and that's what these award shows are really about, is like the highs and lows that they get
and
off of it.
And they love validation. So maybe if they want to be validated, they should also take the criticism as well. But they
at
can't
least
take
you're
the
memorable.
criticism.
If people give you a Razzie, at least they remembered you. Like, take it as a W and just move on.
Yeah, take the dub.
The smartest ones lean into it. They go and accept the award, and they understand that, look, in these fields, first of all, like we talked about yesterday, it takes a lot of people to turn in a bad performance. It's not just the actor. Like, a lot of times it's the editor, it's the director. It's not just the they removed the award last year for Bruce Willis had his own award, his own Razzie named after him.
That's cool.
Right? Like, Nicolas Cage is famous for turning in wildly ridiculous performances, even in his best stuff. I was watching Lord of War. I was talking about that the other day. I was watching Lord of War, and I love that movie, and he's great in that movie, and it's one of these films where when I watch it, I just can't imagine being that director and seeing Nicolas Cage as the person for this role. He just didn't seem like the person for it. But for the most part, he hides the Nicolas Cage of it all, except for this one scene where his wife, Bridget, played by Bridget Monahan, like, finds out that he's an arms dealer. And he does this thing where he sits on a sofa and he goes like this. It's the most Nicolas Cage thing you've ever seen in your entire life. But for the most part, it's not really like expected of him because he's known for his over-the-top performances. But you have to have a healthy sense of, like, you have to be able to laugh at yourself. Look, we read, like, negative comments about us all the time on here. Like, I can appreciate the clever ones. When people have very negative things to say about me, the cross-eyed one made me laugh because sometimes my glasses do make me look cross-eyed. But in general, like there's a difference between getting one company telling you or one award show telling you that you did bad as opposed to like just being told like you're an awful person. And it's being done amongst their peers, right?
I mean, I think that all of these actors and actresses and directors, they need to care more about whether America likes them and not what Hollywood thinks of them.
Yeah.
And if that happened, then we'd all be better off for it.
Yep.
Yeah,
She's complaining about Hollywood being racist and misogynist. Right. Even if those things were true, which they're not. If anything, they prop you up because you check those boxes of being a black woman. Even if those things were true, what you need is to appeal to the audience of the entire country.
Nobody wants to do that
globe.
Anymore. Nobody wants to do that.
But you don't want
anymore.
that. You want the praise and adulation from your inner circle.
Yeah.
So you're never going to win.
Everybody kind of seeks the praise from the people that they want it from the most,
Yeah.
rather than back in the day, it was your job to appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
Nobody tries to appeal to anyone anymore. It was kind of a lost art in a way, the ability to be able to.
Tom Cruise has it, even if it's phony. And I think that her expression of gratitude in this caption, by the way, is so phony as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like that right there, like it reeks of what
it's
tried
martyr
to be.
complex.
It tried to be something that 20 years ago or 30 years ago might have come off as like, but no matter what I've overcome, I'm grateful for all my opportunities and all this and that. Like it comes off as like she wanted it to sound like something full of gratitude from 20 or 30 years ago. She just doesn't know how to do it.
Because they're not human. You're not a real human being. No one's buying it.
And they're not grateful.
Right.
And they're not grateful.
It just reeks of a martyrdom complex. It's like, even though I'm so put upon and pushed down and oppressed and everybody is against me, I'm still grateful for everything I have. And I've had to fight for it. Like, you are artificially propped up because you made a movie that fits the ideological loyalties of everyone in your industry and doesn't appeal to normal people.
Right.
Like, how about like, I am grateful for every opportunity that I've been given. It was still a lot of work because even within those opportunities, I still had to take the ball and run with it.
Just don't even address it.
Like,
you didn't get nominated for something. What's the newsworthy
Or how about
thing
like,
here?
look,
you didn't get nominated.
Like, I loved the movie we made. I'm extremely proud of it, but congratulations to all of those that did get nominated. I'm rooting for you.
Well, she's acting like she did get nominated and then didn't get the award. Like, no, you're freaking out because you weren't even nominated.
You were not that
Get
good.
a grip on reality, chick.
Yep. Let's go to Super Chats.
Okay. BMF Nate Dogg said, Bobcat is correct. When I get land, I'm getting wallabies.
Huh, true.
Oh, interesting
Let's go.
choice. Alejandro Reyes said, Brett, you do a totally tolerable job most of the time. That's mean.
Well, between that and being told that I'm
Thanks for the money, though.
That I'm not an idiot or whatever they said earlier. They said he's actually smart. Like I backhand full of knuckles with that compliment.
We got $5 Canadian here
funny.
from NYC
Whoa.
Diesel. He said, L-theanine for sleep puts your brain in alpha state. Give me your best Dr. Disrespect impression. Yeah.
Oh.
I have not watched Dr. Disrespect
Really?
at all, so I can't.
I love Dr. Disrespect.
Yes,
Can
and
you
I can't
guys do an
it.
impression?
I don't have any
or-
sunglasses, so I can't do it.
I know. It's tough. Well, what does he say? He's the two-time.
Yeah.
1993, 1994 blockbuster video game champion.
Wow, what a
Back
title.
to back.
That's a cool title.
Bjorg with Pipe said John Reese was my favorite Batman.
That is a person of interest reference. John Reese. First of all, they
You were posting about it on Twitter.
Yes,
recently,
did you watch that clip? That clip is one of the most prophetic things you will ever see. That scene is from 2012, and she's talking about like a private company, the head of a private company being a spy for China because their company went bust during the .coms. And the idea is selling out your country, like the outdated notion of patriotism and selling out your country to save your company. That show was so many years ahead of its time. And also, a fun fact, the main bad guy from season 3 onward, the old guy who also played one of the board members in Batman Beyond, is John Nolan, the grandfather of Jonathan Nolan, the showrunner.
Wow.
Who is Christopher Nolan's brother.
Wow, zero nepotism going on there.
No, John Nolan was an actor.
Club and you're not in
John Nolan was a successful stage actor decades before the Nolan brothers ever got into the entertainment industry. And between Westworld, Person of Interest, all the Batman movies, all of the Nolan movies that they worked on together, I think they've more than proven that that's not nepotism.
Okay. I'll admit it. I'm too stupid to get Christopher Nolan movies.
Oh, I almost watched Tenet last night. That was Nolan, right?
When I watched The Prestige,
it makes no sense.
Like,
I love it.
It does make sense.
It does not. No, it does. You're lying. He's lying.
What does
the
it make
time
sense?
travel stuff in Tenet was like he got halfway through it and was just like, I wanted to make a Bond movie, so I'm going to make a Bond movie where time goes backwards. It makes sense, kind of. But first of all, you shouldn't have to watch a movie 2 or 3 times to fully get something. In that case, he fails because it does not make sense if you just watch it once. But as a spy thriller, it's great.
I don't know. It makes sense. I've only watched it once.
Well, I guess you're just a galaxy brain who understands everything.
No, listen, Brett. In the movie,
explain it to me.
There's a chamber that the person goes through, right?
Yeah.
And when they come out of the other side of the chamber, they're now in reverse mode.
Yes.
Someone said it's okay, Mary. You're just a woman.
Yeah.
See, look, I need more people to absolve me of responsibility like this.
Yes.
Keep going.
I love I do love that they name him the protagonist in the movie, and I love Kenneth Branagh, though it's always weird, like him as a bad guy, because Kenneth Branagh is kind of like short and I don't know if he's actually short, but he always comes off like he's short and stubby, right? Like he does, like he's not the most frightening of people, but they do a really good job. It's like I feel like they couldn't get him to where they needed him to be as far as being scary, so the music whenever he's doing something frightening gets like really intense, and you're like, as like I can picture like Nolan's like off screen, like they're shooting the scene. He's like this. He's like, yeah. We'll fix it in post. Like it's fine. It's fine.
I just read about maybe it was this show. So was it Christopher Nolan's audio levels? No. Maybe.
Yeah, everyone hates Christopher Nolan's audio levels,
and he does it on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets all of his his dialogue is like over here, so you can hear it. It's really difficult to hear.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have someone screaming in the mic, and then the next guy's talking over this.
That's annoying.
It's essentially
because he said he wanted the impact of explosions to actually be impactful. You don't want to clearly hear someone and then an explosion.
It's kind of, they could have done that to great effect in the movie Heat. In the movie Heat has one of the greatest sound designs ever for the gunfire during the bank robbery scene. And what they do is like the gunshots are extremely disorienting and stuff like that. But in Tenet, what's funny about it is like the first thing it reminded me of. Have you ever seen Ace Ventura?
Yeah.
Like the scene where he's like, this is double touch soundproof glass. He goes, huh? Oh, yeah. Like that. That's what I thought of when I saw it.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that someone is going to clip that and you're just going to look
ridiculous. Well,
Toy News Quarterly said, I'm rewatching, what is this?
TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I have to agree with Brett yesterday. Secret of the Ooze was kind of awful. They cartoonified the characters and made it cheesy. I'm pretty sure I didn't like it even when I was 7.
It's falsely remembered as being better than the original. I do love the way that they discover the abandoned subway station as like their new home. Like that was like some of those things. Like when you're a kid, you're like, wouldn't that be cool? Like it just magically still has power. They never really explain why the power still works down there, but the power still works down there. They even end the movie on like a cheesy freeze frame. It's great, but it's just not the original, which is very, very gritty, very, very down to earth, and very, very real.
Yeah, right. Like that. We were talking about that last night on IRL about how the original like actual what's the word, like comic book was super gritty.
Yeah, it was
super
very
dark.
it's
intense,
Eastman and then back in the 90s or in the 80s, dude.
Right. Yeah.
Also, I will say the sequel, however, has Paige Turco as April O'Neil, so in that, she's hotter than Judith Hogue. So they win there, but that's just my opinion.
True.
Doc Holliday, I apologize back because I'm not reading it. I don't want to get involved in drama.
We're staying away from it.
I am what I am said, oh no. Now I feel bad because this is a huge super chat, but I can't read that either. It's
oh man, dude, come on, man.
You wasted your money on that one because I can't read it. It's YouTube guidelines, you know?
Not to mention, just nobody wants to get clipped saying that.
No. Alejandro Reyes said, I disagree with the premise that caring about the past sins of a nation is okay, even if you balance it out with good things. Moral self-flagellation or pride for other people's deeds is self-indulgent. I agree.
Yeah, and we, which is funny too, because we've taken pride from being a sin to being something that we absolutely like seem to hold in high regard these days. Like there was a thing, I don't even remember who the celebrity was the other day, and it was like, look at how this like B-list actress from the 80s, or no, it wasn't, it was like Mary J. Blige or something, and they're like, how she changed her life. She's like, I used to not like myself, now I wake up and love myself every morning. I'm like, what does that even mean?
It's weird.
What the frick does that even mean?
Why do you love yourself? Like, I don't like you.
I don't understand.
Why should you love yourself?
That's what I think.
More people need to ask this question.
Right. It's really weird how like that's like the you know, there used to be a thing when I was growing up, like to not sell out, quote unquote sell out, and not like, you know, get money forever. Now it's like you're meant to sell out. It's the goal, and the whole point is, it used to be not cool to do that. It used to be not cool to just like get money for whatever. And I think that's part of like this whole pride thing, where you got to like feel good about yourself, and not only feel good about yourself, but think of yourself as like a god. Think of yourself as the coolest thing ever. Yeah. I don't understand what it is.
Also,
I don't know
what do you mean, Andrew? That's what Andrew Tate says.
Look, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of self-loathing.
Yeah, yeah. I think a little bit of self-loathing is a good thing.
How about we just aren't narcissistic?
Yeah, let's try not to be narcissistic. Let's try not to be narcissistic. That's a good goal.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, take my non-gaslighting compliment. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Good job, buddy. You go.
Yeah, great job.
Well, that's patronizing.
Yeah, you're good. You're doing so good.
let's do the last bit of stuff, and then we'll read the rest of the super chats. All
right. Yes, we're about to wind down the show with a couple of kind of funny stories. Britney Spears recently got a wellness check at her house because she deleted her Instagram for like the 50 billionth time.
Dude.
And she has a couple crazy fans who decided that they were going to lie to get the police to go to her house.
Crazy
and check
fans?
on her.
Have you seen the word salad that are her Instagram posts?
I mean,
the lady needed to get checked on.
Look, I'm not saying that she's all there.
No, she does. No.
Dude,
keep the state out of it. You're allowed to post whatever.
Are we not allowed to be unhinged on social media anymore?
You're allowed to post whatever. For all you know, that's weird.
She is allowed.
For all we know,
just like
that's
people
weird
are allowed to report her for it. Like.
But there's no, look, I'm just saying, there's no credible danger to her just because she's a little unhinged on Instagram.
I don't know, dude.
And then she deleted her account, which she does all the time.
Here.
Britney Spears
always
is
been unhinged
nuts.
On Instagram?
Not,
but it's so much worse because she's been institutionalized and drugged for the last X amount of years.
When she starts having high resolution nudes, then we'll send the cops.
Then you should be worried.
Know something's wrong. As long as those low quality, like crappy lighting, like phone flash nudes are what's coming out, we know she's fine.
I only want them if it's from like an original Razr flip phone.
Wow.
Oh, I have one of those. I have a pink one.
Oh, send it to her.
It's like a working one, yeah.
Yeah, we can
But
make it
anyway,
happen.
let's watch this video and see the call for ourselves.
All right, here we go, guys.
Absolutely insane.
Britney Spears.
Okay, and why do you feel that she needs to be checked on?
There's been suspicious activity online, and now her account
Suspicious
has been deleted.
activity.
Snitch.
Are you
What an
related
arc.
to her?
Get out of
I
here.
am not.
Okay. Hold on the line for me, okay?
Okay,
She
thank
would
you.
send the Gestapo to your door.
Hey,
The responder is like, I have to take emergency calls all day. Why are you calling me about this?
can you check on the star Britney Spears? Do you just know where her house is? Is that chill?
No, don't be nervous, girl. You got it. You got it.
You got this, girl. You lied to the police.
Wait, is she?
You waste their time.
She's
Go, girl.
like struggling.
She's like, yeah. She's like,
If
I'm
they
so
are
nervous.
like,
What if they don't do the
want to or
wellness check?
something,
On
Then
behalf
they
of
start
said,
sounding like they don't want to do it. Should it just be like
Right.
she posted 911?
No,
like, and
see?
then her account was deleted.
she
That's
said
what
if they
triggered
if they
it.
don't want to do the wellness check,
I
I'm just
gotta-
gonna lie and say that she
And if they
posted
don't
something
do
she
anything,
didn't post.
Guess what? This is going viral right now.
Oh my God, was that the whole thing?
Yeah.
That was the whole goal. That was the whole
this.
goal, guys. We're doing it. It's amazing.
People need to
I
just
feel the same way.
worry about
Ma'am, thanks for
themselves,
holding.
man.
Yeah.
Thank
for
you.
real.
Thank you so much for the information. We'll pass it along, okay? Thank you.
Okay, and will someone be going out to check? Are you able to confirm?
That's
This is
not
where
why you're
ce-
doing this.
This
You're
is
not
where
doing this so
celebrity
someone
worship
doesn't-
came
I'm gonna
from.
pass the
Right.
I'm gonna pass the information along.
And who will you be passing it to?
Oh my
Shut
God.
up,
Oh
Karen.
my God!
You're being such a
Seriously,
Like,
call center.
I want to
Karen.
talk to your call center manager.
I'm filing a complaint about Britney Spears being unhinged on
Dude,
Instagram.
if I was the call center, I'd be like, "Ma'am, we are gonna send someone to check up, but it's not gonna be on Britney. It's gonna be on you." Like
but
they're
then
on
they,
the
they
way.
actually
Right.
did send the police to do a welfare check on her.
The caller.
No, on Britney
Oh,
Spears.
okay. I was gonna
That
say.
same night. I can't believe they did because she
Wow.
didn't even have reason that anything suspicious was happening.
She is allowed to be unhinged. It is.
She's allowed to delete her
God-given
Instagram.
right as an American citizen to be nutty on the internet.
But they
if
saw
she
that
so
reel.
desires.
What they did, they saw that TikTok where it was saying that Britney Spears has a body double at her own wedding, and she probably was tricked into marrying Sam Asghari. and they
Something's
saw
up
that,
with
and
Britney's
something
wedding.
is up.
Dude, I'm just
I'm
saying.
calling the
wedding.
cops.
You guys know how nutty Britney Spears is.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So super fans are gonna just be that much worse.
Let
Probably,
her be
yeah.
let
You
her
know?
be nutty.
Yeah.
Something's
I'm
up
not
with
saying she
Britney's
can't
wedding.
be nutty. I'm just saying, are we surprised that she
Low
got a wellness
bois.
check?
Hey, leave Britney alone.
We actually need to leave Britney alone. Like, it's been so
Literally, just
long
leave her
since
alone.
Chris
Like-
Crocker told us to leave her alone, and
Right.
we're
What's
still
up-
not leaving her
Well,
alone.
Right.
maybe we should
literally.
go bother Chris. Is Chris still a him?
Actually, Chris Crocker transitioned,
Yeah, that's.
so I don't know the current name. I'm
I
dead
don't know
naming right
either.
now. I apologize.
Yeah.
Not really.
Craigslist buddy.
Are there any dollars? Why are my dollars not working?
Dude, I just picked all these up, dude. I'm too rich. I'm too rich, guys.
My dollars
Anyway.
aren't shooting out of my dollar gun. Oh well,
This
it's
is
okay.
just the definition of concern trolling.
But not to mention, like, I thought women never lie. Like, why would
Yeah,
she
I know.
lie?
They
Leave
don't.
all
But
women
why would she lie?
She
to
didn't
the
lie.
police.
Am I
Women
right?
ever.
Brett, she didn't lie. She spoke her truth.
Oh, don't
Right.
get me started.
Speaking truth to power, dude.
Yeah, I spoke
She's
truth to power.
She's manifesting this welfare check.
Their
Yeah.
facial expressions are so obnoxious as well.
Unbelievable.
So is this call in this video? Were they all three like patching, or is this
Yeah,
just someone
they were
re?
patching.
Oh my! They're not what's the word like? Oh, see, that's even worse.
You're right.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
So it's like an orchestrated effort where you guys are like, oh my.
Serge.
Thank you guys for the.
And
Man.
someone
last-
commented, these people need jobs
Yes.
ASAP.
Yeah.
They
This
do.
is a
They
sign
have
of
email
recession.
jobs. I guarantee you, they have email jobs that don't
Calling
matter.
welfare checks on your celebrity idols is definitely a sign of recession. Get a job.
It's a sign of loserdom.
Serge,
It's
if
so
you delete your
dumb.
Instagram, I won't call the cops.
Good. You shouldn't. You should leave me alone.
And finally, Mary.
We're ending the show on this headline. It's absolutely wild. It says a priest who temporarily died reveals he went to hell and they were playing Rihanna's Umbrella.
I like
as
that
torture.
song.
Now, I looked into this. I fact-checked this. I did my due diligence. And here is what actually happened. This was announced in a TikTok made by, not a priest actually, but a pastor. And he said that he had a near-death experience from a heart attack. And he did say demons were performing pop songs in hell to torture people. Now, I want to play this part of the TikTok, Brett.
Oh wow.
Where?
I sent it to you.
Of course, this was posted on TikTok. That's of course.
And it's
Oh, here it is.
he did this long account of how he died and went to hell. And I look.
So is it true that
Maybe
you saw
there's a
hell?
grain of salt to this.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's at the 2-minute
I saw
mark.
The real hell. I was there.
Just fast forward.
And I wouldn't wish
To the
that
2 minutes
even worse
mark.
than that is. And then there was another part that I experienced that just blew me away. It still baffles me to this day. There was a section in hell where music was playing, and it was the same music that we hear on the earth, but as opposed to entertainers singing it, the music demons were singing it.
Oh.
And it was
I
some
hate
of the
it when that
same lyrics
happens.
that we
I know.
hear here. And
Maybe
then
they're
again,
just in the
things
shower.
that they're not things that are not telepathically. Things that are telepathically known there. I knew that on Earth, a lot of the lyrics and the music and the songs are inspired by demons.
Okay.
So sometimes when people smoke to get high,
like
to get lyrics and to get verses and
there is something weird though because
pause it.
So
the beats per minute thing.
Do you guys think that when pop songs are played backwards, they have secret subliminal messages hidden in them?
This is just a Tipper Gore LARP again, where people are saying, "Oh no, like you guys are listening to Metallica. Metallica
think of the children."
No. What I'm talking about, it's not lyrical content. It's the actual like beats per minute and the melody. Apparently, like you guys talked about it on IRL one night. It's like. I forget what decade, but they shift
Is
the industry.
Is this the same thing that Ian was talking about when he said that sound waves can change your DNA? Because I don't believe that.
It was in... Dude, he's brought that up a lot of times. So it maybe, but... No, but it is. It's like one of the decades, they changed what the standard was for the music industry. Like, I forget.
Are you talking about the whole... Are you talking about the retuning A to 432 hertz?
I think so.
Because it doesn't really change anything. It just depends.
But what if it changed everything?
Good question, Kat.
Boom, laced. Argument over.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. You know what? Argument over. You're right. I'm not. You
win.
Just got it's
live
cool.
on air.
No, but it's PW.
What's that annoying trend that was going on in like the mid 2010s, where all the
Black
songs,
Eyed Peas?
No, mid 2010s, like when they were switching beats per minute in the middle of the song.
Oh, that's a thing currently in K-pop too.
Yeah,
it's a change. They not only change like the signature, but also the whole beat per minute of the actual track.
Like that's fine on like the downswing if you're hitting a crescendo, but it's like when you do it obnoxiously, it's annoying.
You know, like when I mean, I don't know. Kendrick has some songs like that.
Yeah, some.
LOL.
Keyword some.
Yeah.
LOL.
Anyway, based on this story, I think maybe we should believe him because it's embarrassing to admit that you're a pastor and you went to hell anyway.
He's like, I was not very good at my job.
What do you mean? He made it back.
That's so true.
He's incentivized to lie, right?
He's made
and say that he went to heaven, but instead he told the truth.
Hey, he told the truth. Yeah.
Hey, Creative Juice has Chopped and Screwed, Brett. That's different. That's like a remix of a song.
Chopped and Screwed.
I love. Hey, if you haven't heard Chopped and Screwed Friday by Rebecca Black, you're not even.
True.
Are you even a
It's
music
Friday.
fan?
True.
But yeah, in general, or anything from Lil Troy back in the day.
Yo, Lil Troy, dang! Shout out, yeah.
Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, you are right. That's correct.
Someone mentioned Nightcore. Do you guys think Nightcore is demonic as well?
No.
Well, someone also mentioned that Ye said 808s are opening up portals.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys are all just being Tipper Gore.
Confirmed.
You guys are all being Tipper Gore. You're going to try to put parental guidance on my CDs again. Just leave me alone, Mom, okay?
Serge, I'm just saying.
It's not a phase, Mom.
I do like the music you produce, but I also think it's a little strange that you're doing it on a pentagram.
Oh, I'm about to walk off. I'm at that
Smack
point.
the mic first.
I'm almost there. I'm really, really close to walking
Surge the Rugged Man.
Yeah.
We still got some
You're not that guy,
Superchats
Kelly. All right? You're not that guy. Okay,
All right. Titanic Panic said, "Great show, guys. Happy to catch one live. I'm in agreement that AA victim movies are played out. Bring back an Eddie Murphy type personality and make something awesome." What is AA?
Maybe just A.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, maybe African American.
Oh, okay. But hey, what we really need, guys, and there was talk of this happening, is Rush Hour 4.
Oh, that would be
Please no. They're just gonna mess
it
it
will
up.
be
No,
not
no.
funny because they will not be able to do the racist humor.
Well, actually, the Bad Boys sequel they made did well. So,
Chris Tucker is the man. And I would love to see Rush Hour 4, but at the same time I don't.
They would literally
because
never
it would not be
right.
as. I mean, there's an amazing clip from like the bonus features where like they have Jackie Chan saying the N-word and he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like he just doesn't get it. Like.
It was a different time.
It was a different time, right? Like he's like now they're like trying to gotcha
What
moments.
year did the first Rush Hour come out?
94.
96?
Really?
90,
No way.
98 maybe.
Maybe
It had to be
98.
late 90s.
Maybe the chat knows, but
Yeah.
Rush Hour.
Durazzo says, was I right?
98, yeah.
It just says Rush Hour 4 better be racist. Yes, it better.
But that's the thing.
It's
You know
funny.
that it's not going to be, or it's going to be racist
Not
toward
in a
white
way.
people.
Well, no. The
Yeah,
thing is
true.
Rush Hour 4 was racist. All the Rush Hour movies were racist towards everyone, because everyone.
yeah.
And here's the thing: you can get
Not even racist. It's just like having a
Racial
human
humor.
sense of humor.
racial humor, right?
About like the differences between us that takes our guard down.
Who you?
It's like
You.
a normal thing. Anyway, Alejandro Reyes said, Brett was talking about being gaslit when I sent that earlier message. I was just doing what he told me like a good follower.
Yeah, geez, Brett. God.
Take a breath. Take a seat.
Jesus Christ, Brett, take a breath.
Language.
Don't
Don't
you
you be taking the Lord's name in
Deep
vain.
breaths, guys.
Take a
Deep
breath.
breaths.
One of the reasons it works so well to work with Mary is that, unlike Seamus, she does not always scold me when I take the Lord's name in vain.
It's a selective thing, you know.
It's
Depends.
only once in a while.
Yeah, K42X said, wow, Mary, Brett needs to send you to more annual training. You're extremely spicy today. I say if we get to 7 crisis parties,
Yes.
everyone gets a crew cut. I am not
Well, we
participating
did get
in this.
7.
What is a crew cut?
I don't know, but I don't want one.
Crew cut,
whatever
like
it is.
when you, in the army.
Okay.
Like everyone, not a button.
It'd be funny
Now they
if
just
everyone did,
buzz
like-
it, but
Everyone did like that flop over cut where when you cut like the greaser cut, you cut all the hair up except for the front. You just have to wear it back like this, so it just flops in front of your eyes. That'd be a good one.
I don't know. Maybe Mary just wear one of those. You know how Wesley ordered 20 wigs.
He did?
There's like a
think
box
so.
of 20
There's
of
only,
the
like,
same
one or
wig.
two.
No, there's
Yeah.
a bunch of them. Just wear one of those.
Maybe. I don't know. How many
go.
crisis parties?
I love
do
how
we
Kellen
need?
is. You're trying to get everyone to cut their hair. Why didn't you cut your hair?
Because I'm not allowed.
What do you mean?
I don't have permission.
I hereby give you permission.
Oh, okay.
Now
Nice.
you're
We're
So
good.
you really,
We're
you
good
really
now.
are pay pigging. Interesting. There's something going on there.
Okay. X said, your awesomeness is hereby challenged. And then just,
I don't know what any of that
I don't know what
says.
language the rest of that message is in, but I'm not even going to attempt to say it. Sorry.
Is it Afrikaans?
Is it?
I don't know. I have to
Go
see it.
go and read it.
So he says, Brett, get a high fade. Well, I used to have a high fade, but I just cut it off now. I wear a hat all the time anyways. Doesn't matter.
You know what you should do? You should start wearing visors.
Yeah, let's
true.
Show the hair
Upside
and
down.
have the
Yeah,
shade.
upside
the Nick
down.
Cannon. Flip it upside
Yeah.
down. That's classic. That is
or
classic.
like the Kangol hat that LL Cool J always used to wear.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a vibe.
I like
It's a
that.
vibe.
You
I
can
like
become
that.
a beanie guy as well. Everyone freaked out when you wore a beanie on the show.
You wore a beanie on the show?
One time, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Fred's wearing a beanie."
Did you have to get permission to do that?
Oh, my God.
Anyway,
Yes, he
Chris
did.
Bertman said, I've waited decades for a good video game adaptation. Stick to the source material, but fix Last of Us 2 story in season 2.
So
LOL.
only stick
Yep.
to the source
Oh,
material when
okay,
it's the source
hypocrite, Chris
material
Bertman.
you like.
I get it. I see how it is. I am what I am said, one last PCC party. Glad I was able to watch live for a change.
That is awesome.
hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Porco
Appreciate it.
Rosso Forever said, another great Wednesday show, Brett. No homo.
But
not
that's like the
Wednesday.
second time.
It's gaslighting and implying that you're gay at the same time.
But it's like that term is making a comeback. Like that.
What
That
is?
was
No
no homo.
homo.
No homo
Is
sack.
it?
It's only making a comeback in our chat.
Yes.
There's
Yeah,
nowhere
let's
else
keep
is it
it
making a
going.
comeback.
Do you guys know Lil Dicky?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
rapper?
Mhm.
Well, there's a line in one of his songs where instead of no homo, he just says no hetero.
Wow.
It's just like in the
Edge.
background, like
Edgy.
Well, I mean,
You'd
his
miss it if you
name
weren't
is
paying
Lil
attention.
Dicky.
Yeah.
So. Thousand Foot Deep
Hetero.
End said, it's one thing to call for a wellness check. It's another to record yourself doing it for the
Right.
internet. It's all for attention. Gross.
It is.
I
It
agree.
is a clout chase.
100%.
Perturbed Alpaca said, can confirm am in hell. Riri and Yoko Ono on repeat. The other song he said was playing on repeat was "Don't Worry, Be Happy,"
Dude. Sang by the wall.
sang by a
bass.
choir of demons.
What if there was a hell
The wall bass.
a song
Oh,
in hell
man.
for you guys? What would it be?
Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim.
That's hard.
Damn. That was really quick. You got that like almost
It's a
immediately.
creepy song.
Wow. A song in hell.
Like, what do I think would be playing, or what would
What-
be like my hell song?
Maybe Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really?
I'd lose my mind.
Little high, little low.
No.
What about I want to. I honestly, I don't know. A song in hell?
Yeah.
Hassan.
The demons would come up with one.
Yeah, they'd know, but I don't know what really like annoys me that much.
Yeah, it'd have to be something that you really, really, really hate, like
Kids Bop.
or like something from when you were a kid that like you heard so much.
I know. That's that one Black Eyed Peas song where they say L'chaim. That song, I forget. You know what song?
Boom Boom Pow.
Yeah.
Is it actually that one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one.
That's a good song, though.
No,
especially
not a
for
good
the
song.
time. It is.
It's not.
Come on.
You're so 2008. Like, no. Not even.
2008 might be the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Brett, it's in the song.
Overall,
I'm so 2000 and late. You're so 2000.
For some reason, it just
But he said like I'm so 2008 because it was in 2008.
Yeah.
You're so 2000 late.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Never date your song though. Like never date your song with a year like that.
I kind of like when songs are noticeably dated.
Yeah, because now we can like look back and be like, remember what it was like?
Yeah, there's a famous Busta Rhymes song where he says there's only 5 years left because he was written in 95, and he was referring to like the Y2K song, which I always liked. I think it's a cool reference. So
Y2K was such a vibe.
It was.
Y2K was such a vibe.
If you know, you know.
Yes.
Halls and the Kids said Happy Friday, y'all.
Happy
More gaslighting in the chat.
Friday.
Gotta love it.
It's not fair, man.
Halls and the Kid, is that the Halls and the Kid?
It's the Halls of the Kids.
Yo, what's up?
Yo!
What's up, YouTubers? Curtis C said would love to see Chris Tucker in another Friday movie titled Last Friday.
Last Friday night.
Interesting.
That was a good song.
That was a good song.
Nathan Koss said Crazy Frog on repeat.
That song is timeless. I love Crazy Frog. Play that song for me at my funeral, please.
That should be the next crisis party.
Yeah.
Crazy Frog.
That's a good idea. It's a good.
I'm here to scare people, not make them sad.
Caper2X said to conclude Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we go, we've got one more super chat. Dang it! I was just making props there too.
Alejandro Reyes said, "You all have a wide audience, by the way. I'm basically an office worker listening while I work. In case you didn't think about it."
Oh gosh,
excellent.
I love that.
I do think
Nice,
about
Alejandro.
Think about it.
I'm picturing like our like chaotic, ridiculous conversation, and like it's somebody that's got like a nice white button up, maybe a tie,
He's
just
by the
sitting
water
there,
cooler.
and you just hear this crisis party going on, like
screaming with a Siamese
he's got
kangaroo
AirPods
on screen.
in at the water cooler.
People
Just
are
acting
like,
totally calm.
people are like, what are you listening to? I
You don't
actually
even
can't
wanna
explain
know,
it.
man.
It's like if I could explain it to you, I would, but I can't. Guys, before we go, would you please like this video, leave a comment on this video, not just in the comment section, but in the live chat before it ends. Both of those. I have ended the poll, and now it's gone too far here. So here we are. So the question was, what should The Last of Us do? Stick to the source material, be creative, or be more like Velma? Well, the winner, ladies and gentlemen, is
Be more like Velma.
Stick to the source material with 70% of the votes. But it is fair to say that Be More Like Velma came in a close second.
Yes.
Okay, not close.
There's hope.
17% of the votes. Get
first.
Creative only got 12%.
You're last.
That is
Good.
774 votes. Guys, thank you for making your voices heard today on Pop Culture Crisis. Before we go, Kellen, let everyone know where they can find you.
What's up, YouTubers? You can find me at Kellen PDL. It's KELLEN PDL everywhere. Don't be like Chick-fil-A and spell my name wrong. Thanks, guys.
Serge.
You can actually also find me at Kellen PDL on Twitter and everywhere, I believe. Also, add me on Instagram. I love being added on Instagram. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Perfect. Mary.
Okay, you can find pictures of me on Instagram at Mary Archived, and you can send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived. We definitely have a meme review coming up, so go to the subreddit, submit your memes, submit your out of context clips, especially from a show like this one.
Can you pull up that picture that guy made on Twitter? with everyone. The whole pop culture crew. Did you see that photo?
Oh, I saw that actually.
Yeah. Where Ian's got like he's like fired.
Wait, I saw another one where they like edited it so okay, they put Chris Bertman's face on Brett. They put Carter's face on Hannah Claire and Hannah Claire's face on Carter and Brett's face on Chris Bertman. It was very terrifying.
That's awesome.
That sounds like nightmare fuel.
Yeah, some of it was actually realistic looking.
All right. Well, we've got some crazy people sending us all sorts of edits. I love it. Guys, thank you again for joining us today. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Brett Dasovic. I have a very, very positive Instagram and for the most part, a very, very positive Twitter. I like to just talk about
toxic as hell on Twitter. Don't believe him.
Yeah, it's just nothing but turf this and turf that.
He's always like DMing me people's tweets and being like, look at this bitch.
That's what I do every day. Little do you know. Guys, so you can follow me there for the show. We are here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you would like to listen rather than watch, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you want to follow the show on social media, it is Twitter at @popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Thank you so much, and we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Deuces.